Hey there, welcome to this totally tubular episode of the 2400 Block Podcast, in which I, Johnny Rubes, and my fellow guest right there reminisce about our high school / college days, as well as discuss the hottest trends back then. You see, this is going to be totally rad, so there's no need to gag yourself with a spoon. You're more than welcome to take a chill pill and listen in. We survived the days of our youth. Now we live on presently as grown-up adults in a world that is so incomparable and different to the bodacious one we had in our heyday. We have a brilliant cast on hand, and I feel blessed to have them join me here tonight. And I'm going to do my best to coordinate the flow by keeping things to a minimum, having each guest take turns with their own perspective. Anyone is more than welcome to chime in into the conversation later on. The late 80s and early 90s can be an overwhelming topic, but we're going to narrow it down the best we can. We will later wrap up the audio portion of this podcast early on. However, we will remain live on Zoom via Facebook Live as we get to share our latest, our throwback pictures and videos. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go around to each of you. Kindly introduce yourself in a few sentences to our listeners and viewers. And, okay, any one of you can go first. Who want to go first?
Go ahead, Reggie.
This is Reggie. I'll go first.
Reggie, go first.
Offered already. I'm Reggie Soriano. I went to Booker T. Washington, graduated in 1989. And I live in Charlottesville now. And I'm an animator/editor. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Reggie,
my turn?
go. Oh,
Yeah.
Reggie, you go next.
Whose turn?
It's you, Dave.
Oh, me. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, see the yellow square right around you.
Okay. Okay. I'm Dave Allegre from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I went to Green Run High School back in 89, graduated 89. And I am currently a documentary filmmaker. So that's what I do. And I don't know. I've been here all my life, most of my life, Virginia Beach. Of course, Navy brat, traveled to different places, so everyone can relate to that. I'm sure. Hi, everyone.
Nice. I guess that's me. So I'm Dan Bale, also class of 89. I went to Booker T. Washington with Reggie. I am now living in Texas. I am a videographer and a filmmaker doing shorts and stuff like that, some documentaries. And that's pretty much it. That's what's been happening since 1989.
Awesome.
And I'm Johnny Rubes. Used to live in the Hampton Roads area. A couple years ago, I've been in the Chicago, Illinois area for the last 11 years now. It's a different feel, and I'm sure Dave can relate because he used to live around that area before he went to the Hampton Roads area.
Mhm.
So so far, so good. I'm age 46 now, going on 47 this year. I'm very blessed to have went this far, and now it's good to finally go and look back to this with this episode. We all have so much that we can share, including the pictures in the end. I can't wait to see that one. So yeah, that's gonna be quite a treat. I already previewed that with Dan earlier on, trying to see if it worked or not. So
Worked
cool.
great.
All right. Well, here we go, guys. Just a few questions on hand I have here, and I'm going to start off with Reggie. Take us back, bro. How was it like during your high school years?
That's a tough question. It was interesting. I mean, like I knew Dan, from a long time ago. We weren't that close back then, and he was close to a group of other Filipino guys. So I was kind of a loner coming in from Lake Taylor up to Booker T. Washington. So it was kind of tough, just, trying to work my way, but eventually all the Filipinos just kind of got together and this one big family, and it was pretty cool. There weren't too many of us, but we had many classes together, and it was fun, definitely fun times.
Cool. All right. I'll decide to volunteer and go with and follow up with that same question. You see, up until junior year of high school, I didn't really go out. Yeah, I was a homebody. I went straight home right after school was done for the day. Me and my bros, we mainly watch everything on cable TV. We had fun, but it wasn't the kind of fun that most teenagers had. Going to their frequent hangout spots like the arcades, the malls, the clubs, the beach. I had no fashion sense. I went with what mom bought for us brothers. Most clothes were good. Others seemed kind of weird, but I still wore it anyway. And I still remember those MC Hammer pants my mom made for me. I only wore it 3 times. By the way.
Your mom made them.
Yeah. And I did wear a lot of those stonewashed jeans and did the fold and roll. I'm sure you guys can relate.
Yeah.
I went too far sometimes with it, and others asked if I was prepared for a flood. I had social anxiety. I admit that, and I always preferred to sit in the back of the classroom. I love to talk, but not to everybody though. I limited myself, and it was very selective to those I talked to. And I was insecure. I was just trying to be a little bit too careful. That's how it is when you stay home too much. The junior years was a game changer. My friend Ariel, who is somewhat related to Reggie, he was able to drive me around, take me everywhere beyond Norfolk. We went to Virginia Beach and met, fellow Filipinos there, which was really cool. And we also met some Filipinos from Lake Taylor. Yeah, that was cool too. And I think as I went through the high school years, my confidence level grew a lot. And I was no longer socially awkward. I went out a lot. Of course, it comes with its consequences. When you come home so late, mom starts giving you the talk. Yeah, and that's what happened to me. And I was grounded sometimes. It is what it is, man. When you want to explore, but then you got to face the lessons. Let's see. I wanted to go out so bad. I really did. And I'm glad I went clubbing, but then I also learned to keep my limits on that, because I would have ended up in a bad situation. Who knows, in some part of that life later on. But well, because of mom, look at me now. I mean, I'm living proof, being careful, being aware of my surroundings. And I worked my first job at the Navy commissary, grocery store in the Norfolk Naval Base. And that's how I get to see Dan and Reggie more often when they were already in their college years. Back then they were outgoing seniors in high school, and I was just an incoming freshman. So there was quite a gap there. I didn't have a chance to fully interact with them until here in the future. Like right now, I'm interacting with them more often, and I'm proud of the fact that I am. It's truly a blessing to be in their presence, and much love and respect to the fellas.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Man,
Cool.
you're making me sound cool or something. That's weird.
Hey, John, by the way, you're just a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am.
Yeah.
Time for everybody.
And that's cool.
Just gonna put a smile on your face. I just bought my Adidas Superstars and my Jordan 11s. Yeah, that's how late I am.
I'm sorry. I'm in uncle mode. I'm just buying what's comfortable. They're nice and soft. I like these.
Oh man. So Dan, how was your high school years like?
It was kind of like yours. I mean, even though I had, a clique, we call it a barcada from junior high. I was still not really a social person, outside of my friends. I never, like, my freshman and sophomore year, I never used my locker. I think, Richard, you may remember that. I would just carry my books around in a big book bag, and because hey, I don't want to be late for class, stuff like that. And I don't think I wore jeans until like my junior year, so I didn't really start coming out until like my junior or senior year. But yeah, and of course, being from an Asian family, very strict upbringing as far as studies. And then when you kind of get that freedom towards your junior and senior year, I kind of slacked off a little bit. So, dropped off in the rankings, it wasn't as important to me, but because now I was getting a social life, and, that went on into college as well. But, I don't regret anything that I've done, because it's made me who I am today. So.
Okay, as a side note, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you and Reggie perform in a band. How do you guys made music? I mean, how much time you spend a day making music?
I don't know,
I'm sure.
a day, like a week. It's like minutes a week.
It was Dan just called over and, hey, we got to practice. Same
Yeah.
song, you know.
Okay, yeah. The thing was, yeah, I've always wanted to kind of like being not social, you know, in my younger years. It's like when I had the opportunity to like, oh, maybe I might shine here. You know, a lot of kids go through that. You know, this will be my moment. I've been waiting for this moment for years. We were having a Spanish and French Honor Society induction, and I think they normally have like a musical number one of the students plays, and I said, hey, me and Reggie and Randy Angeles, you know, we can play La Bamba. And I think I told you in English class, Reggie, I was like, hey, you can play guitar, right? You know?
Exactly. I mean, I was just, my dad had a guitar and I would just play chords, like learning the Beatles songs. And I just knew chords. I couldn't really, you know, do any of that fancy stuff. It was good enough to play La Bamba. You just need 3 chords. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I had an electric guitar at the time, and you know, I was self-taught very poorly, but you know, enough to get the one song. And Randy Angeles played bass, and we had a drum machine, and then so we played it. And I was just talking to Reggie about it yesterday. It's like that actually surprisingly rocked the house that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything after that sucked, but that was good.
It was definitely a great memory. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the crowd was just wild, and you know, it's just fun, and to have that memory. Forget the other times we tried to rekindle that, but yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, what's the name of the band? Tell Reggie here.
Oh, it's
I mean, Dave. I mean,
P-Noiz, P-Noise. So yeah, try to make it cultural, but made it more like bathroom humor.
You want to mention the original name?
What was it?
FLIPs.
Oh, the Flips. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Remember what it stood for?
What was it? What did we say?
Friendly Little
Island People. Yeah, that's right.
That's what they call them.
I forgot about that.
Oh my god!
Wow.
oh, wow.
I don't know.
You know, we had a couple of other. You know, you play it pious for some Filipino fiesta or something, or you know, at a birthday party or something. So my cousin actually came in after into the band as well, because she was a singer. She went to Salem. She was a couple of years younger. She and her sister, and we had a sax player, and that was it.
Cool.
Sax player.
How many venues did you guys perform at besides Booker T?
No, not much. It wasn't really a band thing.
Really?
The thing I like to say is that as a band we sucked, but members had gone on to be in music, so I'm happy about that. That started them, catapulted them. Like my cousin, she was in a like a small regional band over the DC area. They played a lot of stuff. So, and the sax player, I don't know where he went.
Oh. Yeah, they were like the Filipino version of the Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is there any, like,
we're gonna take a look at some visuals later on after the audio podcast.
So there's video of proof.
You got you got video, Daniel? Did you find
I might have some video somewhere.
Surprise us.
Share screen isn't
or
working.
shock us.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe I might bring it out a little later.
Right.
This technology, I don't know how to work it. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know these things.
It's on VHS.
Yeah. It was. I actually found a digital copy of it. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next question.
So who's next?
Oh, who's next?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can go on, but you know.
Okay. Well, let me maybe I can backtrack just a little bit. Let's say 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So we lived in Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, wow.
Hot weather, like 90, 100 degrees during the summer, and even hot kind of mild during the winter months. But we were stationed there from 80 to I think 83 or 84. And then my dad got stationed in Chicago, where it was like
nice.
deep, like night. It was like negative 10 degrees.
I know.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely Chicago, all right.
Yeah. So, and we moved there in the middle of December. So I remember going there and going, oh my gosh, what is this? This is crazy. It was like culture shock. But I ended up going to junior high there, Springman Junior High, and then Glenbrook South. And I remember I was like the only Asian out of 2 people out of like 900 students. It's kind of weird.
Jeez.
Oh,
So, it was pretty high society over there in Glenview. They got,
oh yeah.
my classmates were uppity, rich. I saw them being pulled up in Corvettes and sports cars, and I'm like, wow, is this Hollywood or something? But we stayed there from, let's say, 83 to, I think it was 88, and then we moved here to Virginia Beach. I moved here, I think, in the middle of my junior year. So I didn't know anybody. So you can imagine I'm in Green Run High School, and then there's just a flood of Filipinos. And, what I know is also African-American. And it was like a mix. It was like a mixing bowl. I'm like, this is weird. It was such a different vibe. And even the teaching was a little bit different, I noticed. Not Green Run. Glenbrook South was up there as far as their curriculum and everything. But it was interesting. Virginia Beach felt like we were here when we were little, but for the first time, it just had this different feel to it. And what I noticed, people had brown hair, wearing surfer clothes and skaters, and it just was so beachy, I guess. As a personality wise, very introverted, shy. I mean, if you look back, my dad and mom, teachers would call and say, is there something wrong with Dave? I remember my dad getting a phone call from my teacher saying, we need a conference call. Dave doesn't talk. And I was the guy, just like John, I'd be in the back of the room, just really quiet, never participated. Felt just really shy. I think I was bullied maybe 1 or 2 times. Of course, they're gonna mess with the weak person, and that even made me more shy. So kind of fast forward, I'm in high school. Never dated or anything, maybe because I was shy, and definitely I watched my brothers and sisters go with their significant others. But the one thing I did was stay homebody. And this is 1990, just played with my video cameras, played with VCRs. And at the time, editing systems didn't exist back then, and just try to figure out how can I edit and tell a story with this little video camera, and plug 2 VCRs together. And once I figured it out, I started making videos, and that's 1990. And I found my calling. And kind of fast forward, I never went to prom. I started my own company. That was probably 1996. And again, video equipment or software didn't exist, no smartphones or anything. And I was able to produce videos, and people were just blown away. Not to toot my horn, but I found a niche. And my business, 1997, it went from the garage to a facility, like a studio. And I just had employees, and it just grew and grew and grew. And ironically, as the years went by, of course, I started my business in the wedding industry. I watched everyone else fall in love. And it was that one wedding that I got a phone call, and it was my wife, a future wife, who was Grace, asking if I can document her parents', I think it was 35th wedding anniversary. And she took a liking of me, and she pulled me to the side after I showed a presentation or tribute video of her parents. And she asked me to dance, and that was even documented. And the rest is history. We ended up, of course, on national TV. Our wedding ended up on there because of how I proposed and what I did for a living. But again, as a shy kid, that was terrifying, just to be in front of the camera. I only like to be behind it. But I would say sometimes, I guess your calling, when you're in your calling and you're in your passion, you are like Jekyll and Hyde. You become your work, and you're not shy anymore. It's like I can stand in front of hundreds of people if I have a video camera in my hand. But you take that camera out of my hand, I'm like the shyest kid ever. As an adult now, I don't know. I wouldn't change anything looking back. Everyone has their own track in life and story. So, Virginia Beach is my home. I love this place. It's nothing like any other city. I mean, you go to Chicago, you go to LA, you go other places. It seems a little bit too fast paced, but there's nothing like coming back home because it's just a little bit, there's something special in the air when you're here. And I remember being here for the first time and kind of joking Virginia Beach or Hampton Roads, like, gosh, we're just behind, it's not like Chicago. But you know what? This is a new city. These are new cities compared to other cities. And, a lot of great acts have come out of here. You don't have to be in LA. You don't have to be in Chicago. You don't have to be in Miami to do big things. You can be here and establish that Hampton Roads can be an amazing place of history and great things. And I hope to be part of that as well as help others, be part of that too. So now it's 2021. I'm still doing what I'm doing as far as filmmaking and never looked back since. And, I did take a 10-year break from, 8-year break from hiatus break from my work because I did get burned out in 2013. I think it was 2013. And slowly coming back this year and trying to reinvent myself in a world where media or filmmaking is a new playing field. It's a different way of everybody can do film these days. It's not like back then. If you have a smartphone, you can do film. So as a business person, it's like how can you reinvent yourself so that you can be marketable? And that's being the best storyteller you can be, because equipment now is nothing but tools to work with. It's not like back then, if you had the equipment, you got hired because you had the equipment. But today it's about what can you do with it? What's your talent? What's your vision? So in a nutshell, I guess that's my story.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
It sounded like you were talking about my life. Because I had done that because I was interested in filmmaking early, and I was doing the 2 VCR thing. We only had one VCR, so I'd go to Blockbuster and rent a VCR.
Oh yeah.
And
then
you're trying to stop and start. It's like but this doesn't have a real counter. But I'm glad you stuck with it, because I didn't.
I know.
I just came back to it. So
it was frustrating. And what I learned, you have to find a VCR that has a flying erase head. I don't know if you know that, where it does that clean cut.
I do that now. I know that now.
or connect two cameras together, make one an input and the other one the player, because the cameras do have a flying erase head which does that clean cut. But I would stick for titles, I'd stick like a picture on the wall and stencil it, and it was just so dinosaur back then, but it was all about the storytelling back then, and it's still today, regardless of what technology exists. And I mean, there are many times I wanted to throw the computer out the window because it crashed, like a 5 gig hard drive, completely wiped everything. But if it's your passion, you will stick with it. It's a love-hate thing. So,
definitely.
But I would contribute Virginia Beach influencing me to be inspired. Something about Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads. This place is just a wonderful place to raise a family and just follow your dreams.
Nice.
And
yeah, you're kind of like preaching to the choir here, because like when I was younger, I had a video camera, and I would just love making like small movies with my cousins and things like that. And then eventually, when Dan and I were working at the commissary, we started recording videos at there, and then we edited onto VCRs. And actually, my parents they had a Betamax, so when you hit the pause button, it was like right on the spot. So it was perfect for editing. And that. And so Dan and I were just looking at an old video that we had done, and just how the editing was done, just like not just linearly. There's no back and forth. It's like just one take, and just how amazing that is. And it just shows the passion. Like if you have a vision, if you want to accomplish something on film or tape, you're gonna find a way to do it.
Oh
and
yeah,
the way we
yeah.
did it before.
Yeah, definitely. And I tell these filmmakers that get into video or film today, they got it. I mean, they got it easy compared to back then, because everything's non-linear. You're right. When it was linear, you're stuck with whatever you cut. You can't move something around. It's like a Word document. You compare back then, when it wasn't linear, it was like a typewriter. If you had a sentence right there, you can't take that sentence out. But today, I mean, you can revise it or delete it and make new versions of it. So if I were thrown back, if technology was taken away today and brought back to back then, I wouldn't get into video. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go through that again. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I think that's cool to hear that you both were into filmmaking back then.
That's good. You three got something in common.
Yeah,
Film and
a good
video
group of guests right here. We kind of
Amazing.
It's like we all edit for jobs right now. So
yeah.
that's all we
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not to preach or anything, from what I've learned, story is told 3 times. Someone told me this: when it's first written, when it's shot or filmed, and when it's edited. So those are 3 stages. So they can go, the editing, it can go in different directions. It's like the editor is like the cook. So you give him all the materials and everything, and you're going to have 2 different cooks give 2 different tastes of what that story is. So as far as the shooter, he's like the grocery shopper. He goes out and gets the materials for that editor. But I would say the writing part, the script writing part, it's almost like a grocery list, I would say. But it's really interesting. A story's told 3 times: when it's written, filmed, and edited.
And
so,
I've seen that happen because my big niche is post-production. So I usually take on a lot of the roles, like colorist, sound, everything. And a lot of times I'll have directors who don't have any editing skills. Yeah, just go and put this together. And then I put it together, and usually it's a mess, and you try to make the best out of it. And then the heartache is always seeing when you put this nice finished product together and everybody goes to the director and says, you did such a great job. It's like the director was there for shooting day. I know he contributed to it, but I had to fix a lot of mistakes. So I'm getting more into the shooting part of it now. So
oh yeah. And you have to, sometimes when you're editing something, it makes you a better shooter. Because you are, for me, I do both. It makes me aware of what I don't need to do or should avoid when I go back out and film, because I'm looking at it on the screen and I'm like, I'm not going to do that again. Why did I? Yeah. So they go hand in hand. But yeah. And as far as a shooter, sometimes I've edited stuff where, an editor can only do so much to fix it. They say that terminology, crap in, crap out. Yeah. Sometimes you can't, if it's blurry or it's just bad sound, what can you do as an editor? I mean, sometimes there's something not salvageable, and that terminology, crap in, crap out type thing.
Very true.
Yeah. But yeah, I contribute Virginia Beach as a major influence, because back in the day, I used to follow my brother's friends and my friends and just go out and videotape them. It was back in 1990. I was the only one with the video camera, and I just videotape us going to Kings Dominion, videotape birthday parties, or follow them around London Haven Mall and just montage it. Wow. And just putting music to it was amazing. And they were just like, they couldn't wait to watch it. So it was like people were shocked to just see themselves on TV coming off of a VCR tape. So, that was just our environment here in Hampton Roads. It was just like, Filipinos hang out with each other and we all have fun. And it's just go to Mount Trashmore and go to the beach. But again, I didn't know anybody here when I came here back in '88. Again, I just didn't know anyone. I think it was after high school that I really started connecting with people and making friends. but it was hard to be in high school and not know anyone, and again, didn't go to prom and just felt left out.
Yeah.
But again, that's what I said, John. We're people are sometimes late bloomers.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Everybody has their time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just see Reggie's face as you're talking because
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I don't know if you want to, but you gotta forgive us for laughing because
Mhm.
you mentioned Kings Dominion and now Trashmore, and that's two places that we made videos.
Oh, really?
like picnics.
When we were working
friends
at the commissary, so it all ties together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, oh my god, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Oh,
That would be great if everyone can somehow archive all their videos and put it to one amazing group page for Hampton Roads Filipino, just to see the whole memories just unfold.
Oh,
right before our
yeah,
own
yeah,
eyes. Yeah, that'd be
yeah.
amazing.
Make a montage.
Yeah. And the crazy
montage.
thing, not our community is so big here as far as
Mhm.
Filipino community. Not everybody knows each other.
That's
It's
true.
like it's like different pockets of
It's different now.
of
A
friends.
lot more.
Yeah. So, depending on when you graduated or your age group, but yeah, it's yeah, if people have those type of memories, it'd be cool to look back.
Mhm.
It was those were the carefree days, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 90s and part of the 80s.
I'm sure
Kind of like the
glad we-
2000s
I'm very
too.
glad we lived that time then.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's
Mhm.
different now, but I'm just glad we enjoyed this. It was so simple back then.
It was, and I think the commonality that we all had was that our, maybe for you guys, our parents were retired military, and when you do communicate with each other, it's like, oh yeah, your dad was a cook too, or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah,
Or your mom.
exactly.
Yeah, so I that's why we're all here in Hampton Roads, because I guess our parents decided to settle here or come back here.
Yeah. It's like we're all sharing the same fingerprint here.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
we had a friend whose
Yeah.
dad was like a chief warrant officer. I was like,
Yeah.
what kind of weirdo is that? He's supposed to be a cook.
Or your dad knew my dad or something.
It's always that, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just cool. I mean, I thought coming down here to Hampton Roads and just to meet people and eat in their house, come on, eat some rice, and stuff. And adobo, and it's just I just love it here. Again, I'm coming from Chicago, where I was somewhat the only Asian in that whole high school, and
That's true.
it's
Gives you
different.
a different perspective because us, we just grew up in Norfolk and you've seen it and you kind of take it for granted too. So
Yeah. Wow.
Did anyone of you guys like brought Filipino food for lunch? And sometimes you try not to make it too obvious. You somehow just
yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
It's
Or to work.
Yep. I'd be digging in right now, but back in the day, we had one friend, and this happened in junior high. We were going on a trip to Busch Gardens, and his mom had packed him some chicken adobo. And he was just so embarrassed. He left it at the school before we even got on the bus and said, I'm just going to buy something from Busch Gardens. Like,
Man.
like, I'll eat it.
I'll eat it. Yeah. I think there comes a time when you don't eat Filipino food for a while, you're craving it. Because I can only take hamburger and French fries and for so long until you're like craving for adobo or
and those are not even enough.
I
Burgers
know.
and fries are not even enough.
No, it's just like your palate as
Yeah.
a Filipino, just you gotta have that. You grow up with it. And I'm trying to have my kids. I mean, my kids love it too. I just hope they pass that down to their kids. Like rice. Stuff. But yeah, and then growing up, we have these gatherings, right? Like at Mount Trashmore or these associations and stuff. That was mind blowing to me too. It's like, wow, like and as far as a filmmaker, again, my business was more focused on documenting weddings, and just our weddings here were just humongous as far as in our culture here. We go all out. When it comes to the weddings.
You got an hour's worth of footage just from the ceremony.
Yeah. But everyone's invited, and
that's true. It's
they
like
got
everybody's there.
sponsors, and like my arm's hurting trying to film the whole thing. Yeah. But I don't know. What are your memories about Hampton Roads living here? I mean, what's vivid on your mind as far as?
I just remember, being able to go out as a kid, like hang around at the mall. Like, nobody
Yeah.
does malls anymore,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's true.
I'd
That's
go there
true.
and go buy some, some
Yeah.
cassettes or an album, and then go over to Putt Putt Golf and play some
Oh
pool
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
But and then just hanging out with your friends. You cruise on the strip.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
remember that. Yeah.
and I haven't been back to Hampton Roads. It's like 2012, and so I'm sure it's different now. But back then it was like you said, it's like kind of laid back. You get to hang out with your friends. There's plenty of places to eat. And then you go around, you see somebody, it's like, oh, well, hook up with that group. We'll go ahead and
Do you kind of remember? You guys remember like when your relatives come over? It's like, let's go crabbing. Let's go to Chick Beach.
Let's go to Sandbridge.
Sandbridge.
Who has some rope in a chicken bone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, yeah.
And that's the kind of, you're right. When you're removed from it, then you long for it more, because when you're in it, like, I don't want to go crabbing with my parents or whatever. But then it's like, it's like, oh, I wish I could do that now,
And same thing with the oceanfront. I remember not going there for many years, but the only time I go there is when, relatives come down from out of town. It's like, hey, let's go to the oceanfront so I can show you what it looks like. It's either that or waterside, It's either east or west, which way. Yeah, or go to Washington D.C. when I see
I was
D.C.
just gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I look at my photo albums. You look in your photo albums, you'll see pictures of your parents taking their friends to D.C. It's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Hey, man, you're like living our lives. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. There's just our city is not as like Chicago, right? I mean, there's so much to see there.
Yeah.
There's so much history there. But I mean, there's history here as far as military. I mean, you can go to MacArthur Center and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. There's just so much you can show here compared to the other cities. But again, I still love this place. I call this home.
That's one thing.
And you guys do too.
That's one thing I miss is the beach. I miss going there like 7:00 in the morning, and then I'm walking with Ariel for like an hour, and later we go to get some donuts and just walk around for a bit.
Yeah,
I just miss those walking from like 5th Street all the way to 26th Street and so on.
Yeah.
I miss that. That was fun.
Yeah, yeah. I remember this. So when did you guys graduated? I mean, what? So who's the oldest here?
No, 89. Well,
89.
Yeah, that'll be you. Yeah.
Okay.
Reg.
And you're.
I'm the youngest one.
Oh, so Reggie, you're 89 too?
Yep.
Oh, 89. Okay.
Reggie was our valedictorian.
Yeah.
Oh, you mentioned
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Dave,
Yeah.
Dan was most articulate and Reggie was most studious. Yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was on the yearbook.
Yeah, yeah. But Reggie, you look so familiar. I don't know why. I don't know. Do you have siblings or
I have one sister.
sister?
She's older than me, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We had friends in Virginia Beach
Okay.
many years ago, and back when the Navy families would get together.
Yeah.
St. Pius. That's about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all must have like passed each other and then didn't realize y'all would meet in the future, like right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that. You just like pass by somebody, you're like, you don't know them until later on in the future. Like, oh, I remember meeting him or her at St. Pius or some function.
Well, actually, there's a weird tie-in. It's like, I guess, like I said, I had met your wife once, Grace, but she was Melaneg before when I met Grace Melaneg when I met her.
Yeah.
And then when she married you, she was Grace Allegre. And if I'd hear the name, like somebody was talking about her, I'd get confused because my cousin's name was Grace Allegre.
Okay.
Different person.
Yeah, yeah.
So Grace Allegre has a sister named Anne Marie, who's Anne Marie Soriano.
Yeah, yeah.
Whose son is Reggie Soriano. So that's it's like it comes around full circle. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I get.
Yeah.
That kind of blows my mind. Like, there's somebody with my name.
Wow.
In Virginia Beach.
Yeah. In Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bizarre.
So was there ever, because I didn't live here during that time, was there ever like a division between the people in Norfolk and Virginia Beach, as far as, because you go to Booker T and then
I'd say like a rivalry. Nothing that was like, where people every once in a while people would have beef, but it was like particular people, and they say, oh, those Kellum guys, let's go over there. I was never part of it, but people were like, yeah, we're gonna go over there because he talked crap about my friend. But and of course it's kind of just like the kind of friend like, oh, we're better than those beach people, or even within Norfolk, it's like, oh, look at those guys from Norview. It's like so it's just the kid mentality, but nothing
back
where it wasn't the greasers and the socias where we were eating each other up.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see there was definitely like a different vibe with the families, like the parents in Norfolk, the way the kids grew up. They're just more family oriented, more family values. In Virginia Beach, they're like just, I don't know, they're just not wild, but just more free spirited, or just do whatever they want, and fancier clothes and things like that.
Yeah, I think there was a money division. A little,
money division?
because I think everybody started in Norfolk, and then the people who had money moved out to Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
And then so they moved out to these nicer houses, and then so you had like the people like who were like just like the cooks, stay like, or if your father stayed a cook or your mother was a seamstress or whatever. I'm speaking of my parents, of course, but as opposed to like somebody who moved to Virginia Beach and then their family owned a travel agency. So I think that's where it was. So then the kids, of course, had nicer cars and a little bit of an error of like, not that they're that's what they grew up with, so I can't blame them. That's what they know. But like I said, that's kind of where probably some of the rivalry was, but it was never, I never saw it like really to a point where it's mean spirited. Just kind of throw some shade.
And then everybody.
I noticed that too when I went to Virginia Beach and started knowing these Filipinos over there, and it's a little bit different from Norfolk. And I was like, wow, they seem to be a little richer than us. I don't know. I just kind of thought it in that way.
Or maybe it seemed like it because their homes were better.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, everything's amplified. It's like, you
You're
think
right.
that some people are talking about you, or they think something about you, and they really don't,
That's just, then everybody came together when they went to ODU.
That's it. We're all FOSSA now.
It doesn't matter.
We all go to ODU too. Come on now.
I think we all went to ODU. Reggie and I went to ODU.
I
didn't graduate from there, but I went there.
I actually moved away and tried to go to American University in Washington. Ended up coming back home and went to ODU too. So I'm like back to with everybody else,
Wow. So it's crazy. We're kind of like our parents' age when they were probably retiring, and now I don't know if you guys have kids and stuff. It's like, whoa, where's the time going?
I don't have kids, but I've definitely thought that I'm at the age now where my father was when I was a junior in high school. So it's like now I can kind of see why he said some of those things to me, because I was probably I had too much attitude when I was a kid, I'm sure.
We all did.
Yeah.
Wow. So I know, gosh, I don't know what it just seems like a different time now. If you guys have been here, you said 2012.
That was for me.
For you. So
it's still there.
I don't know, it's different now. You don't see kids outside. They're on their phones or in their home.
True.
I try to tell my kids to go outside and ride their bikes or something. It's just interact with someone, stop being on that iPad or internet. seems to change everything.
Yeah, I definitely remember
Yeah.
growing up, like
Yeah.
I lived in a certain neighborhood and I was just close to all the kids
Mm-hmm.
from the bus stop and
Yeah.
just neighborhood, just like you
Mhm.
guys, man,
Mm-hmm.
and John Eric. We all had our little groups there and
Mm-hmm.
grew up with them. You would go outside to see them, and
Yeah.
those were crazy times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be on your like BMX bike, and you'd be like, what I remember, like you'd jump over those ramps and just, just I don't know. Those were the good days.
Yeah, you
and
don't see
just
kids doing that anymore. It's like,
no, no. I mean, who told me sometime today you can, you ask the kids what they want to be, and the number one thing, they don't know what they want to be.
Mhm.
They want to be a YouTuber. That's
Yeah,
it.
and
There's no,
influencer, yeah.
Be an
Yeah.
influencer.
yeah, they just don't, they haven't expanded their possibilities because they haven't really gone out there and see what's out there.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, because
Just-
everything's instant gratification now. It's like,
Yeah.
well, you see it. It's,
Mhm.
you'll see people who have won the lottery ticket, like they put their movie or they sing on YouTube and they become
Mhm.
famous, and they
Mhm.
think that anybody can do it. And,
Mhm.
in a sense, YouTube is kind of like celebrity, or TikTok, you get, hey, look, I got 600,000 views and people all over the world are watching me. It's like for us, it's like
Mhm.
you didn't know anybody outside your neighborhood,
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
for them, it's a much bigger world for them, and so it's hard to kind of rein them in to look at the simpler stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if is that gonna would that hinder them in the long run though? I just don't know. Like, because
I think it would just be.
Yeah.
It's kind of like kids. They're smart. They know a lot of stuff as far as like with the technology,
Yeah.
or like you
Yeah.
said, a kid around here. We've got 50, 60 different video production companies of kids who
Mhm.
who bought a Black Magic and are now directors,
Mhm.
but they
Mhm.
wouldn't know what to do if they didn't have the equipment, or if they try to solve a problem with with editing or something, because
Yeah. Yeah.
because like, hey, they didn't tell me how to handle this when I watched Film Riot,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
if they're not told it or spoon fed it,
Mhm.
they won't know what to do. So I think that could hinder them, because
Yeah. Yeah.
they've got so many crutches to help them along.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I don't have kids of my own, but I do
Mhm.
kind of worry about that.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey,
Okay.
John, this spawned up. I mean, this is just coming out of on top of my head, like, and Dan, I think you sparked it a little bit. I think there should be some kind of documentary about what life was in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
Maybe go
Man.
back and interview people like us who lived back in the day, and just collect media, maybe old videos, and just interview, and even parents,
Yeah.
how what it was like living here, and just because one day that's going to be gone, that story will just disappear.
Exactly.
And
Too bad we don't know a documentary filmmaker in Virginia Beach.
yeah.
Who could
That-
possibly edit?
Who can put that together?
I don't know.
Yeah, we need to
I
get
can
this with our cut.
try.
It's a good it's a good idea, because
I know.
Yeah.
there's not a lot to be told about the Filipino American experience, because every time you
Yeah.
do,
Yeah.
it's showing food, or like this is the culture, or it's
Yeah.
about family. But there's
Yeah.
a lot more. We're a lot more three-dimensional than people think in our
Yeah.
lives growing up.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be pro-Filipino. It could just really illustrate how life was here back in the
Yeah.
90s and 70s, and because that, especially, for us, it was again, we were here because of our parents. They were in the military, and they I don't know, it was just a special moment, and we can really illustrate the life here in Hampton Roads from that perspective. And also another idea, I was, I'm not trying to throw things out there. I just really feel like a really good universal story is were your parents in the Navy or service?
Yeah, my dad was in
Okay.
the Navy.
Navy, yeah. I
Both,
mean,
both of ours were, all of
both-
ours.
okay, all of us. Okay, I mean, that's even a story in itself, because of what our dads had to do and our moms had to go through to have a life here, in the U.S. And just, my dad joined the Navy, and he became of course, a cook. That's the only thing they were offered. And then the Philippines in the 60s, they opened up the doors for Filipinos to join the Navy. And that was like gold. I mean, I remember my dad saying he became a cook, and his brother, I don't know, was a lawyer or something, had a higher position in college, but my dad was looked up upon because he was going to America.
Yeah.
That was higher than anything. And, there's a backstory of the stuff they had to go through to be here in the US and to have a good life, a better life. And I contribute that sacrifice for what they did, because we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now. And, looking now, as my daddy's in his mid 80s, and also my friends, their parents are a lot older. That narrative from them is going to not be available at some point in time, because it's just a given, they're going to eventually pass away. And that narrative is going to have to come from us. And it, but I think it should be both. It should come from us and our parents. But I think that's a really good perspective to capture and to solidify, because it's history. So yeah, if that can be put on film, I think there's a major audience for it, I believe, from the East to the West Coast. San Diego to and if that story could be told well, it could be universal. It's not just about Filipinos migrating. Italians can relate to it, or maybe other cultures can relate to it, because it's pretty similar. So just an idea. Just an idea.
That makes sense. Any culture with a big family background. I mean, because I'm in San Antonio now, so even though there's not a whole lot of Filipinos like there is in Virginia Beach, being amongst the Mexican culture, it's very similar, just because they have that strong family bond, especially being Catholic, and you may have heard the old adage that, the Philippines is the Mexico of Asia. So it's kind of, I see that here. So you're right. It doesn't have to be just Filipinos. So
yeah. So, and then it could be tied in what it was like living in Hampton Roads and everything else.
Be a series. Docu-series.
Yeah, we got to get that going sometime, especially when they're still alive. I think it's best to document. I'm gonna have to ask my dad, to put in some time, a little bit some video work that I could film him and gather as much data as I can.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like crazy stories my dad would tell me, and your dad probably, or your parents probably told you crazy stories. Like I remember my dad saying they were on a ship one time, and they were cooking in the back on the ship, and of course the U.S. Navy officers were, they had egos and everything, and you don't mess with Filipinos when they're sitting there cooking, right? So I remember my dad being in the back, and I guess they had a run-in with one of the officers who was giving them a hard time. So you got these Filipinos. My dad said they took off their socks and started dunking it in the soup, and marinating their socks in the soup. And then they would serve it to these officers, and they'd be sitting back there laughing, like, and then I'm like, "Are you serious? You did that?" But I don't know if that's a story that should be told, but it's just funny what they did.
My dad said similar story, but it was with coffee.
The coffee?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it must be true. It's corroborated.
Yeah, don't mess with Filipinos when they're in the back cooking and stuff. But stuff like that, and then the sacrifices our moms had to go through and stuff to be single moms, as our dads were out 8 months at a time or longer. Just what they had to do just to raise us. So you appreciate these things when you get older and you look back and you are parents yourself, but you really appreciate it more. When you're a kid, you're like, okay, whatever.
I know.
But yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, sadly, my parents have passed away, but definitely after I got older, I appreciated it, what they did. I mean, because my mom was working 2 jobs, while my dad was out for, like you said, like up to a year sometimes, So
yeah. Now, do any of you guys remember going to the Navy shipyard and picking up your dad, or like the NOB?
Oh yeah.
Like and stuff. Yeah.
It's a good feeling after, especially not having seen him for a long time. Like how many months? 6 months, maybe even a year.
Sometimes you're like, who is that? Like, who's that guy? Who's that guy kissing my mom? But they always came back with gifts. I remember gifts from different
Oh, yeah.
places, like different
yes.
countries. So I remember that.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, that's part of growing up here, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else about Hampton Roads? I mean, living as a kid, the 90s was a cool period of time, I guess.
It was.
Yeah. I guess
Oh,
that's,
speaking
yeah.
of the 90s, okay, I'm
Mhm.
gonna start with you, Dave.
yeah, okay.
What was your fashion sense back in the day? Like, what kind of style did you wear?
I didn't have any fashion sense. That was just like, where did I buy my clothes from? What stores were back then? Kmart or something? I wasn't into, I probably didn't know what to wear. Looking back at my pictures, I'm like, gosh, what is that? And I worked at the commissary too, so I would,
Oh,
save
nice.
as much
Oh, nice.
save as
Make
much
it
as
all
I
of us.
can to buy some, clothes for, to wear in high school or elementary or whatever. But
Nice.
I don't know. I didn't have a good sense. I did wear MC Hammer pants like you at some point in time. I bought them at the mall. Those, it was like saggy in the middle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore that. I remember not wearing, but dyeing my hair brown, with
Oh.
sun in. I don't know if you
Sun
remember
in.
sun
Oh
in.
my gosh.
Yeah. So my hair wasn't brown, it was orange.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that because everyone else did that. I don't know, that's basically it. That was my fashion sense. Yeah. How about you guys?
I guess I can start off. I think around that time I bought some Aeropostale. I mean, it was new at the time. It was coming off 1987, I believe it was.
Mhm.
Then I got myself some Bugle Boys.
Oh, Bugle Boys. I remember
Bugle
Bugle
Boys.
Boys.
A whole lot of pockets,
Yeah.
You could put anything in there. Then there was like OP or Gotcha or Billabong, 17th Street Surf
Yeah.
Shop,
Yep.
especially.
Yeah.
I worn those cross
Mhm.
colors.
Mhm.
Any of you guys
Yeah.
wore Swatch?
Swatch it. Yeah, Swatch.
I
Yeah.
couldn't afford a Swatch. I bought a Coca-Cola watch.
Coca-Cola watch.
And still available at the Coca-Cola store. Yeah, I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have a good set over there.
Put the Swatch guard on it.
You can probably change the wristband and put on a variety of them. Yeah. Any of you guys like since me and Dan don't have no hair anymore, I used to gel up my hair.
Yep.
I gelled up my hair big time, man, especially with Depp.
Depp.
Yeah.
Depp.
Yeah. Did you have a box? Any of you? Did you do the box?
No.
Like
I had the wave.
Oh yeah, the wave. Yeah.
In which you will
Okay,
see
the
later
same
on,
here.
Dave.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
I've had the same hairstyle like all my life.
Really? Oh, that's
To the
looks
side.
good.
This is simple.
Yeah.
And more power to Dave and Reg for still having hair. Yeah.
But from an Asian perspective, do people say, "Man, you don't look your age"?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you get that?
all the time?
Yeah.
You get that all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good thing.
It is.
Yeah. Not to knock my friends I knew back in the day. Sometimes it's like, oh, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
I'm glad I have these kind of genes where I don't, look like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think growing up too, I think that was a disadvantage. Looking too young.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to look older.
Yeah.
I don't know
because
if
you still had that baby face. Well, I always
Yeah.
had a chubby face, so it was even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, Dave, you sported on that mustache for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably in the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 I had some questionable fashion choices in school.
Yeah.
I had I think my junior year, I discovered like leather fingerless gloves.
Ooh.
And I wore them all day because they when you took them off, because they were kind of cheap, they kind of stained my hands. I'm like, well, I don't know why I didn't think to just go wash my hands, but so I just leave them on all day. It's like so horrible. I don't know. Then there was the vest phase.
The vest. Oh yeah, the
any
vest.
type of vest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Dan was always the best guy. Yeah.
T-shirt and a vest.
Yep.
Yeah. Those were the days, and don't know.
Yeah, it's I've always been like a t-shirt and jeans guy, and
Yeah.
when I went to high school and met Daniel, he and his buddies were dressed, with the tapered pants, just what like Johnny Rubes was saying, tapered pants and whatever. And they talked me into it, and I started doing it too, and it was okay, but I can't believe I did that for a while. But once I was out of high school, I went back to jeans and t-shirts, and I'm glad I did that.
Sorry for the peer pressure, man.
That's what it was. And like I said, I was like, not in the clique, and it's like, this is what they're doing. Just give it a try.
Gonna buy my.
It was comfy though. I'll tell you that.
It was. You wear them with like your.
Used to
wear. I'm trying to remember the shoes. It was from Kinney World Cups. They were like white. They were like kids.
Yeah.
But they were just like, and we used to have this kind of this bottle of like to keep them white. Basically, you just painted them white all the time. You really clean them. You just painted them white.
For me, it's like I never gave in to peer pressure about like having special shoes or whatever. It's just like I don't care because my parents are buying it, so it's like whatever they buy, I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. So, and I wasn't teased or anything like that, so I didn't really care. So I didn't give in to like the peer pressure of doing that kind of stuff. Just what Daniel pushed me into.
Yeah.
That's the bad seed.
Well, that's good. You didn't have peer pressure back then. Yeah.
You'll see one of those pictures. I think Johnny Rubes has that picture.
Yeah, I have a few that I can show later on. Or maybe you guys can show it too. Daniel, you got that. You know how to do the screen share thing on your end.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna do this thing right now on the podcast to those that are listening. We will actually break away from the audio podcast, and we will now just focus solely on the video portions because we're going to be showing pictures, and it's going to be hard to even describe it on an audio podcast. So we're going to break away from the 2400 block audio podcast. Thank you guys for listening in, and now we will do the rest on video. Thank you for listening.
Here's a treat now.
Okay. All right. I broke away from the audio portion now, so this is going to be kind of fun, especially for those that are tuning in, that are viewing. So this is a special treat. This is what I have. I did it with. I showed this to Daniel earlier, so I guess it's my turn to do this screen share. Hope you guys enjoy this special treat. All right, we're going to be preparing the slide. Okay, there I am.
That's cool.
A photo retrospective of my younger days. So there's just 14 slides to show on my end. Here's the first one. Sporting the Boston Celtics starter jacket. I loved starters back then. I mean, I bought a whole lot of starter ball caps. And that was me inside the Angeli's home. Danny just took that out of the blue. I don't know. I think I was dancing or something. You see some art back there. Looks very 80s.
Is that a Duran album?
It does look like it. I forgot whose room was that. I think that was maybe Lori's room.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what I was doing in Lori's room.
I was going to ask.
Danny
Uncle
just
on you.
likes taking pictures. All right, third photo. Me and my bros. That's me in the top left there when I still had a lot of hair.
Cool.
Yeah. Now you can see how much I've aged. Okay, that was me looking all hardcore in Adidas gear. All the baggy pants, the baggy shirts.
Yeah.
Looking all mean.
Is that in the 90s?
Yeah, that was actually in 1994.
94.
Straight out of Coleman Place.
Yep. That is in Coleman Place. And that was my first black and white self-portrait. I did this in photography class.
Nice.
Just put the little light and just took that snapshot there. It's pretty cool. Tight shirts were awesome. I had one of those little tight black shirts back in the 90s, especially when the boy bands came out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that earring.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh, man.
Nice fade too. I like that fade.
Yeah, look at that.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Man, if I had hair right now, I'd really do so much with it. That was me after high school graduation ceremony. I was there with my then love interest. She was a foreign exchange student. We so happened to fall in love just in the last month.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. That was,
I'm glad you have a picture because that's the cop out story. Oh, she's a foreign exchange student. She left, but no, you actually have a picture.
Yeah, we met a year later, but our feelings never were the same. So
Oh.
I'm just glad we moved on. So. I definitely had that 21 Jump Street look. Check out the denim jacket, the stylish hair. And I even sported a mullet, had one way longer than this
A
one.
mullet. Ooh.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yep, I sure did. I even highlighted part of the front too. All right. On Mom's car, sporting the boys to men look.
Oh,
Yeah.
That man spreading going on. Nice.
And the Gap hoodie was better back then. I don't know if you guys remember the Gap hoodie from back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so comfortable, man. It felt like a throw blanket. Mm-hmm.
I don't look something.
The ones they have now, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't even compare, man. All right. So
You still have it?
no, I don't. It's actually, it might be in Virginia still. Maybe my mom or dad might be wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
They always sift through my old clothing. Sorry, Mom and Dad, if you're watching. All right. My eyes were red that day due to allergy, but I still went through with a senior portrait session.
Nice.
I'm glad it didn't really show as much.
Yeah.
But if I had a scanner, I would have brightened it a little bit more. All right. This is like during my college year, heading to the office as an intern.
I remember that car.
Yeah. Like a police detective or something. And lastly, this was from Dan. He just sent this a few hours ago. That was us in the commissary. There I am right there.
Lounge area.
Top left. All right. So
That was Little Creek?
Actually, that's those NOB.
Oh, NOV.
Yep.
I was at Oceana.
Oh.
So we just missed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could have had a thing going on here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there goes my share.
Awesome.
Man.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever done it. Never done it before.
Nice. Came out really nice.
Yeah.
What a treat.
All right. How about you guys? You guys any got any pictures to
I
share?
didn't get anything together.
I got something.
Yeah, let's see what you got, Reg.
Hold on, let me get this folder up. Where should I start?
See, while Reg is showing that, Dave's editing a video right now. Putting it together as a montage.
I'm like, let me find something.
It's like in Premiere right now. It's like
The one I want because I don't know how I didn't put together a thing here. So share screen. Oops. You have to enable attendee screen sharing.
oh yeah, as a host.
Oh. All right. Hopefully you're set now.
All right. For starters, we'll just go with this one.
Looking forward to that.
That's
Whoa.
nice. Senior portrait.
That's a valedictorian pose right there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot more hair there. And a lighter mustache too. It's just a hint of a mustache. Let's see. Let's jump to. Oh shoot! Now let's hold on. I wish I had put this together. Okay, here's a real one for you. All right. Let's see. Let's close this one. Sorry, I wish I could do this a little faster, but sorry. Close this, and then share. This one. Oh boy, you ready for this one?
Ready.
Oh jeez!
Whoa.
Oh my god!
Oh, this is
Oh
really-
my god!
I don't know.
Jeez.
10th grade, maybe. Well, this was us in the band. Of course, that's me right here, and Daniel, Dan.
Skinny ties.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
heck.
All right, I'll close it. Now you see us now.
Eyes.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Ugh.
Okay. Let's move on to, all right, so let's do the Obama thing, which we mentioned. We're on stage. We honor the French Spanish Honor Society, whatever event. And I was in, while Daniel and the other guys were in Spanish, I was in French. It's like, for me, it's like Spanish is like too much like Tagalog. So let me try something different. So, but it was funny that we got to come together for this event. And here it is right here. So here's a shot of us. We were just setting up, and you can see I've got my guitar, well, my dad's guitar, and Dan's setting up his mic right there.
God, my amp was huge. I don't remember it.
Get those hands.
Look at that boombox on the bottom right.
Oh yeah. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, and I guess I don't remember what I was wearing. If it was just regular black jeans or whatever, but
Yeah, I remember those white pants or white jeans and
Yeah.
like the cuffs. And...
yeah,
Yeah.
and the rolled up
Mhm.
Ah, it's an IOU shirt.
I owe you.
I owe you.
That is. I remember it now.
Ooh.
You got that at merry-go-round.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's see, we'll jump to this one. Okay, all right, so here is us actually playing. I don't remember who took the photo, but we were playing La Bamba. We got our shades on. Well, I've got my shades on. Yeah, they're just in the shade.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was you can't really tell, but you know, the crowd kind of went crazy when
La Bamba.
they started singing. You know, and
Can't even see Alvin there.
yeah, barely.
Mhm.
I can't remember what exactly he was doing because you really only need 3 instruments.
He was. I mean, I'll put it out there. He was faking playing the drums on the drum machine because we already had it programmed in. So we said, "Ah, you could be up here with us."
So yeah, but he's in the band, I guess. Okay. So on the heels of that, we tried to follow it up with another event. I don't know, Dan, if you want to elaborate on that, the honors banquet.
Oh gosh, no. Sure. So I guess it was a banquet to honor like the honor students of like the juniors and seniors. And so they liked our performance at La Bamba. They said, "Hey, can you guys perform at this honors banquet?" I said, "Sure." And then in my mind, I'm thinking, this is great. We're going to play a Jet song. We played 2 Jet songs, actually. They have nothing to do with, academics or honors. It's just, we're in the spotlight now. So we're just going to go ahead and utilize this time. Oh, that's the picture.
There it is.
That's,
Whoa.
we're playing Rocket to You.
Rocket to you? No
Yes.
way.
Oh, and I am not a singer, so I don't know what I was thinking. So there are my cousins on the right there, Archie and Jennifer, and Alvin's there again.
Taking guitars.
Is that
Yeah.
Ali Bud?
Ali Bud.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Yeah.
him.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey, Dan, you don't got any like video of this, do you? By any chance?
Do I?
No.
That'd
Maybe,
be
I
cool to
don't know.
watch.
This is
Yeah.
Reggie's time. This is Reggie's time to
I do
presentation.
not have it, but let's look at another one real quick.
We were horrible, John.
I think this is from the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Number 3. Okay, this is a different song. Sorry,
My gosh.
there's an easier way to just.
And yeah, we're doing the full dance routine as well. That's why the keyboard is strapped around, the synthesizer is strapped around my neck.
Oh, you mean the Jets move?
Yes.
And
Like where they? Oh yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
Where they're all
Oh,
coordinated.
they were,
Uh-huh.
they were really moving.
Yeah. And I wasn't playing. I was just kind of. I was doing the dance, but I did not play the music.
The music was pre-recorded and we were singing live so
Totally.
hence no chords or anything.
At least they were singing for real.
Hey, there's Randy's dad in the front.
So what year is this?
This was 88. So this was our junior year.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. What else?
And I'm just, looking at my cousins, and I'm like, Jennifer in the green right now, just on Facebook, like her daughter just turned 16, and I'm like, my gosh, it's like, where's the time gone? I think she was like 12 here.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. What was that? Let's see what else I got here. Oh, and then here just some. Sorry, I feel like I'm really slowing things down. This was after the performance.
Nice.
And yeah, that's us. This is my logo, which was displayed in the background.
And still using to this very day, right?
Yeah, I can't believe how long I've used that. But I just like whatever. But that's
Reggie
us.
Shore Studios.
God, it's so thin. And we'll just conclude on this one here.
Nice. I think I had some of the same pictures.
We'll end the thing here.
Let's see what I got here.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Is it sharing?
Yeah, you're sharing your whole screen.
Is it working? Whoa, what am I? Hold on, I don't even know what I'm sharing right now. You not see the Pinoy's too? Hold on. Shit, hold on. Sorry.
Your full. I just see your full background.
Oh shoot, which one do you see this?
Just the purple background. Your desktop.
Yeah, your desktop screen.
Okay. I can't. How do I cancel it? I can't see it. Oh, here.
At the top.
I got it. Let's see.
It's like close any other compromising windows.
I saw that.
Luckily, it was just that. But sorry, this is holding it up. I mean, that's about it. Hold on. Sorry, talk among yourselves.
Okay, for those that are just tuning in, we are showing flashback photos of ourselves or with people we were with at one point and haven't heard from in a long time.
Does anyone know where what's it, Ali Budwood went?
Last I heard from him, he called me out of the blue in
Yeah.
2003 or something like that. He was in California. He was married and had a kid. And we talked a couple of times, and he was on Facebook, and then I kind of just went off the grid.
Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure he's fine. It's just,
All right, there it is.
It's,
Probably a pretty clear shot of Alvin right there.
Yeah, that's very
what am I wearing? Jeez.
The Filipino Jets.
We're interchangeable. The Tongans. It's just like, even the language is the same.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yep,
Nice.
that's about it.
I'm sorry, I have nothing. Maybe I didn't have enough history in high school and college. Or
I just put.
I had to go deep into my albums. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't even scan mine. I just took pictures because I was like,
Yeah.
that scanner's so slow.
Easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if do I still have my stuff here. It's PowerPoint. All right, let me see if I can try to share this. So share screen. Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, John, did you start your presentation first and then start sharing? Or
actually I went to share screen and then I just chose whatever it was. I think it was basic, advanced, and files. I opened the PowerPoint presentation as slides as a virtual background. I think that's what I did.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's I did not know you could do that.
And I did not even know anything about that. I just messed with it.
There it is. It's a beta. That's why I'd never seen this
Yeah.
before.
Oh,
Is there anything happening?
I don't see it.
I don't see any visuals just yet.
Okay. Man, we really feel like an uncle now. Whoa, where do I press the?
Is it
Is it showing?
I don't understand.
Like when I got my dad an iPad when he was in the Philippines, and we were FaceTiming, I'd only see like the bottom half of his face.
Yeah.
It's like, look at mommy's flowers.
I'm on TV. I'm on TV.
All right, let's see how this works. It's exporting as PDF. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
That does
wow.
work.
That's much clearer than.
Yes,
Ooh.
that looks good.
So do I just click on
I
it?
did the scanner thing, and that looks better.
Yeah, it's the same pictures.
Oh,
Did I
wish
just steal your pictures? Or it's like Reggie, just give me your negatives. Oh, this was
okay.
Oh, wow.
Spanish
Wow.
Honor Society for homecoming, Mr. And that's
I like the gloves.
yeah, that was the thing back in the days. And the black
Yeah.
tail. There's tails on the tuxedo as well.
Yeah.
I'm just missing a pigeon and a cane.
A pigeon and a cane.
And scars coming out of my mouth. And that was I don't know why he's here so much, but that was Alvin's car. Let's see. That was ROT. I don't have any pictures by myself. That's always so. This is my ROTC ball with
Cool.
chain. There's one by myself. This was it.
Wow.
There's a lot of hair, man. And are these glasses back in? Big glasses back in again? I don't
They're
know.
probably back in style. That's how
Yeah.
old they are.
Exactly. That's how you know it's really old, is when it's back in style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Busch Gardens. Is that Busch Gardens?
Yeah, those Busch Gardens for a trip for our physics class, because we were actually measuring like G forces of roller coasters and stuff. So
Yep.
it was just an excuse to go to Busch Gardens.
That's
And
cool.
There's
Yeah.
the prom
Wow.
photo with the gloves again.
She looks familiar. What's
That's Marissa
Alicia.
Galicia. What is she? She's not Galicia. She's
Oh, she's
Arnold's
not
name.
Alicia anymore.
Militia. What is Arnold's name? She's a doctor. She's like a prominent doctor now. Works like an EVMS. She's still in Norfolk or Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
It's not Tanyag. Or no. I can't remember her husband's name now. That was I just showed this because look at the shirt. This is what was in like 1992 or 91.
Whoa.
The very colorful
That
print
cross colors.
shirts.
Fresh
cross
Prison
colors.
Bel-Air.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was cross colors. I don't remember where I bought it. I bought it at DJ's in Military Circle.
Is
That's
that
all.
Waterside?
No, this is Atlantic City. This is the boardwalk.
Oh, Atlantic City.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So, and this was
Busch Gardens. Yeah.
King's Dominion.
Okay.
King's Dominion.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So apparently they make mom jeans into shorts for guys. So,
Mom jeans.
And the camera bag right there. Yeah.
I
Oh
know.
yeah.
Might as well be a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And this was, oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Do you remember this, Reggie?
Yeah, that was right here in Charlottesville.
Yeah. It was in Charlottesville. And not my motorcycle. I was like, oh, there's a motorcycle. And I have a bandana in my pocket.
Yeah, one of our friends from the commissary was graduating at UVA, so we drove up from Norfolk and visited him. Well, I mean, little did I know I'd be ending up here in Charlottesville, but yeah, I remember this day.
Check out the phone. It's like that
Whoa.
huge brick. Huge Motorola.
Man.
Funny enough,
Is
that
that
was
when-
my. What was that?
Is that before beep? Is that after beepers or that during beeper?
This
time?
is
when people have-
Around beeper time. This is 95, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
that was
So
actually
you were like
that was my second phone. My first phone was a bag. Because
bag.
I didn't
I
want to
remember that.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to get cancer,
Yeah.
so I just they say don't put it up to your head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what are we? And then that was also 95. There's the swoop with all the gel on the Honda Civic at my parents' house.
Double-breasted suit.
Yeah. And I think, is that it? And that's just the current one.
Okay.
Reggie took that one. I just threw that in there because that was my visit back to Virginia in 2012.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
So yeah, I wasn't even living in the Hampton Roads. I was in Charlottesville, but I visit my family like once a month. or whatever. So I knew he was coming in town, so he stayed in a hotel there, and we just relived old pastime. Crazy. Driving around.
So what made you guys leave Hampton Roads? Was it a career choice or just
Mine was career because
career? Yeah.
I actually worked for a big company in Norfolk, and they kind of consolidated. So
Mhm.
they gave the option to move over to home office here in San Antonio, and it was a really nice package. I mean, they paid for everything, and like with the bonuses, I might as well. We didn't have any kids, so it was easy. My parents had already moved to the Philippines. It was just like my sister was the only one who was left in Virginia. So I said, I think I was getting complacent in Virginia, so I said maybe let me move on and kind of push myself to do other stuff. And I don't regret it. I mean, I love it out here.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like Virginia or knocking Virginia or anything, but I've had a lot of good experiences out here. And I think if I was there, I would just be kind of doing the same thing. And here I've moved on, started a business, even though I'm still working as a videographer for that company. Actually, at the time I was doing IT, but because I came out here, I started doing more video work. So now I'm doing it as a full-time job. Plus I have the business. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
As for me, I go ahead. You first.
Well, what happened? Okay, yeah, after I graduated ODU, I was still in Norfolk, but then finally was inspired like to do computer animation. So I went to school up in Washington, and didn't move back home since. And I moved back once I finished school, but then I found a job back there in Washington. Found a job in Charlottesville to do local TV commercials back in 2007, and been here ever since. So, but it's definitely nice to like be close to home. I mean, you guys are. It takes you like it's hard to go back to Virginia Beach or 757. But for me, it's just like 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah,
I want so. I kind of like being close to it.
Yeah. Do you have family still down here? Or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Sister,
good.
both parents are still there, and my cousin. They're the ones I see all the time. So.
Yeah. How about you, John? You just chose Chicago?
Mine's is all relationship related. The first one I went to Orlando for like 2 years. That was 2007 to 2009. It just so happens the relationship was toxic, and then she was talking to my friends here. So I said to myself, I think it's just best to just move out for a while, and I did. I came back here like 2 years later, and I felt a little bit more stronger, not insecure because I lost her, but now I got used to just seeing her around. But then I found someone, and she was in Chicago. Her brother was in Orlando, and I've been communicating with him, but he said, "Oh, you should meet my sister." So I did. I found a job with her over there in Chicago, and I've been here ever since. So it's going on 12 years.
Very cool.
Yep.
Meant to be.
But I do go home like once or twice a year back to Virginia Beach, usually around Christmas time.
Yeah.
I'll need to like connect with you because like when I go home like for the holidays, I'm there for a long time, like between bridging the holidays. So we can probably connect sometime.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be cool if all four of us can go to Hampton Roads at some point.
Yeah. So when you guys come back, what do you see differently? I mean, they keep building here. I mean, they got a town center.
I keep seeing things grow.
Yeah.
New places, new hangout spots.
Yeah.
Some of the old stuff torn down. Some of the like Military Circle. That's the most depressing thing.
It's a dead mall.
Yeah.
Dead mall.
So many memories. Now it's like it's all gone.
How's Lynnhaven now? I haven't been there.
It's okay. I mean, like any other mall, no one's really shopping in malls like they used to. I like the older one with the Ferris wheel.
Oh, Pembroke.
The Ferris wheel. Lynnhaven Mall.
The carousel.
The carousel.
Yeah, the carousel. That's it. And they took out the second floor where the food court is.
Oh, geez.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Or they covered it, so it's one story now.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's just
feels like an airport when you walk in there. Yeah, it does. It just, I don't know. It doesn't have the same same vibe that it had before. But it's all right.
I was
They got
reading about,
town
like,
center. Hmm.
Town center is nice because
Yeah.
I thought we went back there when I went back. Rich
Mhm.
and I ate there, but
Hmm.
I heard MacArthur was having some issues. Like they
Yeah,
were closing
yeah.
a lot of stores there.
Yeah, that seems a little dead too. You know, man, that just seemed like it was built yesterday. Now they're considering, I mean, from what I saw, they're considering tearing it down like already.
I think I heard that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
because we were all there, when they were building it up.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
when it was
Mhm.
nothing.
Hmm. Yep. But, that's our economy or the way things are. I don't know. Does it have to do with Amazon? Maybe Amazon had something to
Well,
do with that.
I'm sure COVID,
COVID too. Yeah.
pushed it over the edge too. It's like
Yeah.
nobody was shopping, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it was
Mhm.
like before that.
Yeah.
Was it bad?
Yeah.
Was the light rail helpful or did it hurt it?
You know what? I wouldn't know. I only rode that thing once.
Yeah.
So
me
I
too.
don't- I wish they would connect it all the way to Virginia Beach. That would be cool. But I don't know. Some people are against it for some reason.
Yeah, Virginia Beach is against it. I think.
Yeah. Maybe
I
they don't
think-
want. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they don't want because they're thinking there could be a lot of trouble coming into the town. But to me,
Yeah.
it'll save on traffic.
Yeah, it'd make it fun to go from one place to the other, I guess. I'd hop on it and be like, hey, I want to go to Norfolk and go back to the ocean front.
Where
Yeah.
does this stop by? Like on Virginia Beach towards Newtown. That's it, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Newtown is the last stop. They don't go past.
Yeah, I think that's where it starts.
Yeah, like Newtown and Kempsville or something like that.
Yeah.
Newtown all the
yeah.
way to MacArthur Center.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It'd be cool if it went through Town Center in Virginia Beach and all the
Yeah.
way to the ocean front.
Oh,
That'll
wow.
be cool. It makes sense. I mean, you got east and west, right? Just
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
back
just
and forth.
parking alone, how
Yeah.
how would help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Dave-
Water side changed too.
Yeah. Oh, Waterside District.
Mhm.
Have y'all went to the Waterside District?
Not been there in a long time.
They redid the whole thing. It just
Yeah,
seems
they did.
it's more of a bar, I would say.
Mhm.
Wow.
Not the
Bar,
same thing.
restaurant, atmosphere. I think that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, it's not family oriented, I don't think. I mean, it is during the day, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to bring your kids there during the night.
No, it's gonna be like Bar Norfolk all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember when they first built Waterside, and it was a thing. And you're right, it was family oriented. They had like the
Yeah.
fudge place there, and
Yep.
restaurants and shops. And I
Not
remember one
there.
day,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson actually came into town, and they closed Waterside so he could walk
Really?
around Waterside. Yeah, I think
Wow.
it was recording with the Neptunes or something.
Wow, that's cool. Interesting.
Hey,
yeah.
Reg. I mean,
Yeah.
not Reg. Dave.
Yeah.
You want me to see? Want me to see if I could access your Facebook profile to show your flag?
You don't want to show me. I'll show you one thing. I like this car right here. You see this?
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Okay, that's a Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
That's yours.
But it's no.
Oh.
It's the first car I saw coming here, and it's made out of wood.
What?
Wood?
Actually, I actually walked up to it, and I'm like, I thought it was a real Lamborghini, but it was made out of wood. Some guy made his Fiero into a Lamborghini. So the thing is, I came from Chicago, and I remember the first time I saw a Ferrari was in Chicago, and then I saw a Lamborghini there too, and it was like, whoa, this is cool because Northbrook, right? Northbrook is a pretty wealthy place, I guess, as well as Glenview. So I come over here, and that's the difference. Virginia Beach is, or Hampton Roads is not as like the big cities where you're going to see those kind of cars. But just to see that, I was like, oh, cool. It's a Lamborghini, but it wasn't a real one.
Oh, man. Desecrated a Fiero by putting a Lamborghini shell on top.
Fiero Lamborghini. So that one, yeah, that was a
They
funny
have one.
yeah.
They have one about maybe 20 minutes away from where I live, where they actually store those sports cars at.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A special area, and I see
Yeah.
them come and go.
Yeah, it's different living in a bigger city because there's like a Ferrari dealership like down the street from me. I'm like,
Oh, really?
Maserati,
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Yeah, there's-
Yeah. So what kind of cars did you guys drive in high school? Like, what was your
Mom's
you-
car.
mom's car?
My mom's car.
My dad gave me his van for one year. And his
nice.
big conversion van that
Oh, it was like a huge.
you know.
Those are
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Like the one
Yeah,
with
it
the
was-
drapes and curtains on that.
yeah, that. Yeah,
Oh,
and the table in the back.
Yeah,
Nice.
a friend of ours had one of those, and we would drive it up to like Kings Dominion or Busch Gardens. So it's kind of cool because you can get the whole gang in there.
Yeah, yeah.
I had an Escort EXP, it's a little two-seater.
Escort.
Yeah, it was a offshoot of the Export. Wasn't very popular, but it was a stick and no power, nothing.
Stick. I love stick shift.
It was a no cassette deck, and I think I remember I bought somebody's tape player, a guy who owned a Mustang, and so when he got a new radio, I bought his old tape player, and I didn't know how to secure it, so it was just kind of jiggling around in the chassis. So
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
I didn't get to drive like until senior year, and I just used my mom's Pontiac Sunbird. Kind of fun, but I was like riding the bus as a senior, and it was embarrassing, but I don't care. What do you do?
You know what? Just driving was cool.
Oh yeah.
If you got keys in the car, that's all that mattered. Yeah.
I remember the first day where my parents said I could just drive to school, and I'm like, this is super cool, and and I'm like, do I know how to get to school? Because I never do it.
It's like, why are you on the bus, Reggie? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then you go to either like Lynn Haven Mall or the oceanfront and cruise. Remember the cruising?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. So what? So you guys worked at the commissary. Those were cool. You get paid every day.
Well, it's technically every day. Yeah. You get paid.
Yeah.
Almost every order.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the good thing about being at the NOB commissary was they opened up the main gate movie theaters right there. So
I remember that.
If you didn't want to go to work, you just go watch a movie, and they had
Isn't that cool?
video games. Oh yeah.
Even after work is over, like I meet you in the movies at 7.
Yep.
And you got this wad of dollar bills. And
Oh yeah.
Quarters and nickels, and this is crazy.
in blue candy.
Yeah. Now, do you remember working like on line 1? That's Express Lane.
Express Lane.
Yes.
You make all that money, right? I remember making like almost $100 in that.
Oh yeah.
Day, like quarters, and I had to roll them up and everything. But it was just, those are the cool days. Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we worked there for years. I mean, because it's even though on and off college, it's like we even had a couple of friends who went into the military, like in the Air Force, and were commissioned officers. And when they'd come back and work at commissary. It's like, I
know
they're bagging like for enlisted, Navy guys, and they're officers, but because it's just cool to hang out.
Yeah, it's side money, and it was laxed. I worked at McDonald's in Chicago, and then worked at McDonald's when I first moved here, and I quit because I guess the manager wasn't too friendly. And the first job I got was at Little Creek, and I guess the head bagger wasn't too friendly there, so I quit. And then I get a call from Oceana to work there, and I made made some really good friends there that are my friends today. And those were the good times. I remember going to the store, and if I bought something, it was a wad of ones, like a pair of jeans or something.
Oh yeah.
And it was like you're counting it to the cashier, and it's like, where do you work?
I know, it's like, you don't look like a dancer.
Yeah. But yeah, I paid for gas when you can fill your gas tank for $5. I remember that. And man, gosh. And then I got my brother to work there, and it's just fun. Yeah.
Reggie and I would talk about writing like a TV series about baggers. It's like,
that
would be cool.
Now, did you guys ever work and then they didn't tip you? You're just man, they call it burn. You get burned.
Yeah.
Oh, what it is? And going that far, pushing the cart all the way down there, and you get nothing. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would name our customers.
You did,
there's like the scary lady. We call her like the dark alley
lady.
Yeah. Dark alley lady. Is that what we called her?
Oh, dark alley. You didn't want to see her in a dark alley.
And there was the anime girl. She had like
anime girl.
She was like had the really big huge eyes.
Oh yeah. And there was like angry woman. There was just like an Asian lady who just always had a furrow on her face.
I think it was her eyebrows. I think she had tweezed her eyebrows, and so
it's crazy.
But there was the division between like the part-time kids and then like the ladies who would work there full-time. Because, you know, and there's really like, oh, you know, I mean, of course, we're kids, we're stupid, you know, it's like, oh, look at those sea hags, you know, they just, you know, all they want to do is make money. It's like, but when you think about it now, as I'm older, it's like, well, that's their living, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, as a kid, it's just extra money for you and it's fun. But, you know, it's like, I kind of feel bad. Sorry to all the sea hags.
Yeah.
That's what you call them, sea hags.
Yeah.
Some of them were retired Navy wives or something.
Yes.
You know, they were working there just to get some groceries. I remember during break, like I would buy something like a pack of cookies and then eat all the cookies. And then I have the receipt, right? I go back and get the same pack of cookies.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Give me a, you know, buy, you know, for the price of one, you know, like.
You want to talk about kid and candy store? The power went out one time. And that was it. It was a free for all.
Yeah.
You know, baggers coming up with stuff in their smocks.
I think there was some favoritism on my side because I was working there for a long time. So the head bagger wasn't a head bagger when I first worked there, but she was a good friend, the two head baggers. So we'd go out on break and, you know, the people that they'd allow us, let's just say they allow us to take the longest break we wanted to without getting in trouble. And then the new ones would get in trouble if they were late or what, but it was just favoritism going on. And yeah, those are cool times. We used to go to Lynn Haven Mall and go eat and come back. You know,
man,
like you guys watch a movie and then go back and we'd spend our own money and come back and make up for it. But it got really bad where we drive by the parking lot. If it was empty, I'd drive back home and say it's not worth it and come back and we wouldn't get fired. We'd be gone for maybe a week or two.
Nice.
Because it wasn't a busy week, but there was some favoritism going on there a little bit. But yeah, I worked there from 1990 to probably 94, 95. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I stopped in 95.
95.
Maybe, I was there like maybe 87 to 95.
Yeah. It's the best job ever.
I know Reggie.
Because like I said,
I think it was 90. I ended around 96, but then I came back in 98 just to get airfare to Tampa, and then I quit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to get a ticket to visit my friends down there, and I said that's it for my commissary. That's it. Just not the same anymore. You know, most of them are gone now. You know, Reggie was gone, and you know, and Dan was gone. It's just not the same.
It's a new set of people.
It's like the end of an era, you know.
93,
It was bittersweet.
Did you have the red stripe? They change them like the red stripe smocks kind of thing, or
We had the maroon smocks that came later.
The
but I
maroon,
think in the beginning we had the blue and white.
The blue and white. Yeah, I remember that. The blue and white. Yeah. I remember.
I still remember my bagger number. 121.
Oh, nice.
My mom found the thing. She found the pin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have mine somewhere. But that's like even for my like YouTube channel, Register 94, and it's because I use a 94 for my bagger number.
Oh,
and
I was wondering how did 94 came about.
Yeah, people are like, were you born in 94? I mean, like, are you kidding me?
Here, I'm gonna share something.
All
See
right.
if I can.
Something from the commissary.
I think it is. Yes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Whoa.
This was edited on the VCRs that we were talking about, by the way.
Look at that.
Oh wait, can we play this? Do I have to turn the volume down, John?
Oh, it's got copyright music.
Oh.
Well, you can at least watch it. Right?
Look at that.
Blue
It's
and
awesome
white.
with the music.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember her.
There's the blue and white smokes right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, all kinds of people. That's what it was. Really.
Oh, there's
Joe.
Joe, our head
Phillips.
bagger.
oh, yes. There's Randy. I forgot who's holding the camera. That wasn't me.
Wow, look at that gel.
There's Michael.
I don't know. You just made really good friends
Yeah.
working there. you know?
And you see, we're just kind of, we weren't even working that day. We just came in to kind
Oh
of
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
hang out with
We're
everybody.
sitting on the carts, bothering everybody walking by.
Yeah. Man.
This is some pretty good footage you have here. Wow.
It's better with the music, but this is fun
That's-
times.
That's when you got into video, huh?
Yeah,
Oh.
Reggie actually cut this one. So
Hmm.
Yeah,
you did this on the Betamax, I think, right? You said?
yeah. I like made a shot list from everything that we captured, and
Wow.
But imagine trying to match up music back then.
yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything like landed on beat. Like it's amazing how we edited this without
Mhm.
computers.
And sometimes it ended up perfect by
Yeah,
accident.
sometimes just by luck. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like I meant to do that.
Oh, Rosa. Rosa.
Aw.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Yeah.
such fun time.
Man.
Oh, Eric. Oh man, I have to tell him about this one.
Are you still in contact with Eric?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Oh my gosh.
As
Oh,
a
wow.
matter of fact. yes.
Jeez. I haven't seen Eric Bernard. Oh, Terry.
Terry.
And here's
No.
our
Yeah.
fake earthquake.
The obligatory earthquake shot when you have a camera in the 1980s.
Like brilliant acting.
Man, it's crazy. It's like we have so much in common.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we,
know.
we all worked at the
Baggers.
commissary.
We're all doing video now. Or,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
was like, what's up with that? We just lived in separate places, or I mean, never met each other.
the cool thing about this shot is like if you listen to the music, it like
Mhm.
wraps up and actually lands right on beat when the door closes,
Closes.
just by pure coincidence. Just like pow.
See,
like,
those are one of those accident things,
Yep.
and you're like, whoa, I
Yep.
did that on purpose.
Yeah. And it comes out perfect.
good stuff.
Wow. So what kind of filmmaking do you guys do?
Oh my
For
God.
you? Yeah, again, I'm sorry, I didn't listen in the beginning.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So-
No, actually, so I do it full time for a financial company. So I'm doing corporate stuff.
Uh-huh.
We do fun stuff. Sometimes we'll do music videos, but it's usually like talking head interviews,
Yeah.
instructional videos. But for my company, it's anything. I've done stuff like some of the news stories, like if they have the human interest stories, covered some the comic conventions, some local musicians, done a lot of shorts,
Mhm.
short films. Like I said, usually I'm doing post-production on the short films, but
Mhm.
I'm actually taking one on as a director and producer for this summer.
Mhm.
So it was for part of a film group, just kind of a fun film group that we started here just to get people interested in film in San Antonio, because it's a really great place to film, but we're so overshadowed by Austin.
Mhm.
Everybody wants to just go to Austin, and we don't have a lot of resources here. So I'd like to open up a studio here eventually,
Yeah.
but so basically with the short, we had a contest, a screenwriting contest. So whoever had the best screenplay, a short, would get it turned into a film. So the guy who actually won it, he's actually written some teleplays for like some Star Trek shows,
Mhm.
like Deep Space Nine, and I think he did a couple of fan films for Star Trek that actually had like Uhura in it and Chekhov.
Mhm.
So I actually just met with him the
Mhm.
other day. So trying to do more creative stuff.
Yeah.
Before COVID hit, I was working with some partners on wanting to do a docu-series about some of the hidden stuff that's in San Antonio. Because every time somebody does San Antonio, they just talk about food
Mhm.
or Fiesta or the Spurs. So we just want to do more stuff like the artists. There's like a big heavy metal presence,
Mhm.
tattoo artists, some of the history.
Mhm.
So now that things are kind of getting back to normal, might get back into that. So I spent my time at the pandemic to work on learning more about the shooting aspect of it, to get my cinematography straight and organize my
Yeah.
equipment.
Yeah.
So what do you shoot with, actually? Just curious.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I got GH5s
Oh, nice.
and
That's nice.
Blackmagic, the 4K version. I'm on the Sony side too, so the A7 IIIs.
Nice.
And then the last camera I bought a long time ago, I still have it because it's like a workhorse for certain events. If they're like weddings or stuff is the FS100.
Mhm.
I bought that in 2003 or 2012, but it was brand new. I think I spent a lot on that thing,
Yeah.
but I got my money back on it. But man, you can really get involved with equipment.
Mhm.
And for me, it was an obsession since 1996.
Mhm.
I could have probably bought like 6 houses with all the money I
I
spent
know,
on
right?
cameras. But the crazy thing is that stuff, it's like so disposable. The cameras, all the cameras I bought in the past are probably in the junkyard now. The only thing I have
Mhm.
left in my investment is probably the tripods. I mean,
Mhm.
tripods don't go obsolete. They can't put a fourth leg on it, right?
Exactly. It's the
So
new model. That's it.
yeah. But again, it's just crazy how, again, the technology's in everyone's hands. I mean, the iPhones can record really good, and
Exactly.
it's all about storytelling.
So
Yeah.
yeah, just gonna
Yeah.
talk shop for a second, but
Mhm.
with the Panasonic and the Blackmagic, do you find yourself buying more micro four thirds mounts for your lenses, or do you still go with like full frame and use like adapters?
That's why I bought
boosters.
this. That's why I bought the Sony, because I
Mhm.
couldn't make a decision. So I got the GH5 first, and then it was a given. Like, I like the look of the Blackmagic. It's like, what's it? The poor man's red camera, and I don't want to spend, gazillion dollars on a red camera. And then it made sense because I had the lenses from the GH5 over to
Okay.
the Blackmagic. So that's why I got those two. And then the Sony, they're full frame.
Mhm.
I definitely would use those when I go out in a much darker situation, because the GH5s aren't that great in low light.
Yeah, but the
So
Sonys are great.
yeah, so I
See,
mean, they can see in the dark and everything. Yeah, so it's the right tools for the right situation, I guess.
That's true.
Which one to bring. So it's yeah. I like I said, I probably, I don't know, I probably bought over 1,000 cameras in my lifetime, because I was one of those kind of people that if something came out, I need to get the new one.
Mhm.
Even though I bought the recent one, it's just probably insecurity. I need to have the best of the best to create the best image. But again, looking back, even now I'm a lot more wiser. I'm like, if I'm going to buy something, I'm going to see if there's something pre-owned,
Mhm. Yeah.
to save a little bit. And because a lot of people get in this business, or they buy equipment and they find out it's not for them. And it's like, well, let me take that out of your hands and save me a good amount of money, you know.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. And again, that mentality that, you'll never arrive getting, you might get the latest and greatest, but next thing you know, it's not the latest and greatest, a year or two from now.
Yeah. Get what
So
fits for you and for your needs.
yeah. So yeah, that's I don't know, there's a terminology of wanting all the best equipment you want. They call it gas or something. I don't know what some syndrome that you you have to
Well,
have the best.
I've
It's a
definitely seen it.
terminology in film
Hmm.
people who basically, I guess I'm a gearhead in a sense, or I used to be a gearhead, but I had everything. I mean, I went from my garage to like a 2,500 square foot studio with everything in it and all this equipment. But my business was growing. I was again, I started filming weddings, and I'd be filming a wedding in Hawaii, and then the next weekend I'm in Italy filming another wedding,
Wow.
and then I'd be in different cities. That's when my business started to grow. And it was 2003 when I got married. Ended up on TLC, A Wedding Story. This is before the internet,
Mhm.
so that just boosted my presence as far as me being a wedding videographer. And people, I'd get calls from as far as Chicago and different places saying, "Hey, they want to hire me. I would like to hire you to film our wedding." And I said, "Well, do you want to look at my work?" And it had nothing to do with my work, other than they were more engaged with the story and who I was because of what they saw. So that was an aha moment for me,
Mhm.
that sometimes people will hire you for who you are than what you're producing. But of course, I want to back it up too. So
Well, I see it a lot because
yeah.
I see a lot of times people around here will hire somebody because of name recognition. Because when you look
Yeah.
at their reels, it's like,
Hmm.
I don't really see anything special. And,
Hmm.
so you do have to
Yeah.
kind of stand out. Well, I'm glad that helped you. So,
Yeah, it did back in
yeah.
2003. It was just like before the internet or anything, television, when you're on TV, there's already an automatic credibility being on TV. So wait, you must be good if you're on TV, first of all. But it just it was an eye opener for me. So today, kind of fast forwarding today, I try to promote people with their stories and who they are. And I think every business has a story to tell about why they do what they do. What's their why? So I have to dig for that and amplify it with creative filming and editing and tell their story, and then talk about their product. So that's just that motto where that happened to me. People were hiring me not because of my work; they're hiring me because they love the story how I got into video.
Yeah.
So
they can say, we got the guy that was on TLC.
or we love his story, why he does what he does. So again, everyone has a great story to tell about their purpose. Yeah. So it's just like I'm currently working on a drummer. His name's Terrell Moody. He drums for TLC and Bobby Brown and New Edition and everything.
Yes.
So he's amazing drummer. I mean, you listen to how he plays, you're just like blown away. But again, I wanted to go further than that. I wanted to know how he got started. And he started going backtracking, saying, I started picking up sticks when I was 3, and I wanted to know his journey and his struggles and the difficulty of what he had to do to get where he is today. And then he was 17, and then he was recognized by Teddy Riley. And from there, he told me that was a journey. He had to go fly to Atlanta, and do an audition. So I asked him all these questions during his podcast, and that is what's going to make people want to gravitate towards what he does, because it's like my friends came over to watch the Pacquiao fight. They don't know who Pacquiao was, but you know what? I made them sit and watch all those 24/7 shows about who he is, about his upbringing, and about how he got started in boxing. And the craziest thing, when they watched it, they started to get to know who he was. And by the time the fight happened, the premiere came, they were invested and they wanted to see him win. So that's the same thing.
Yeah.
So if they just showed up and watched him fight, I don't think they would really know the purpose of why he's fighting. So that's the same thing with everybody, with their purpose, company, whatever their mission is. And that's me as a storyteller, is to amplify that and to put it on the limelight, because video is very powerful, or film.
It is, and I'm glad that there are people like you who still stay true to that, the storytelling part of it, because nowadays kids with cameras, I mean, especially you see them on TikTok.
Yeah,
it's all about visuals and imagery and slow motion shots of sprinkles on on ice cream and it's not about story at all, or
no, and then at the end of the day, it's forgotten. I mean, it's somewhat memorable, but stories will never fade. They're timeless. And that's really, if you think about it, anytime we walk around or when we're going to work, we're talking to other people about stories, and that's a form of gossiping, but we have to listen to stories. That's how we're wired. So yeah, you're right. Everything looks fancy on video. You can make it look flashy, add the nice music, but at the end of the day, you're just looking at something pretty. It's like a gift that you want to open. You open it up and there's nothing inside. It just looks pretty on the outside. So same thing, you go in the movie theaters, you expect to watch a good movie that has a good storyline, but sometimes you walk out of there and you're like, that was a horrible movie, but it was shot with the best cameras in the world. But the story was not there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, John, you went out of context here.
No, it's okay.
but
it's okay.
but
I love hearing perspective, man. I love it.
Yeah. But I really believe Virginia Beach or Hampton Roads has a bunch of stories that need to be told. I don't know how that can be grasped in some sort of way. Like I said, I think there could be future projects where we can, as all of us are getting older, our generation, there has to be some sort of way to filter that and to historically put it on film, to say, look, this is how Hampton Roads was growing up. And I think it would be great. I think people will gravitate towards wanting to watch it. And from a business standpoint, I don't know. Who knows? Anything's possible. could end up on Netflix. I don't know.
I think what we could do right now is extract everything from those VHS, Betamax, 8mm, high
Yeah.
8mm, all those mediums, and try to somehow just extract those, and somehow we'll find a way to compile them.
Yeah.
Into one
And
amazing masterpiece.
it's, in today's technology, like YouTube didn't exist like a couple of decades ago. And now back then, to show something or showcase something, you'd have to get airtime on TV, right? I mean, like, geez, YouTube is free now. I mean, you just post it and everyone, entire world can see it. But I don't know, even in a small level, I mean, just showcasing it or premiering it at a local movie theater would be great. I have some friends that work in theaters or managers. Or that's how I proposed to my wife, by the way. Was in a movie theater.
Oh, nice.
It was on Valentine's Day, and it was instead of the trailers showing, it was us up on the screen.
Oh man.
And I remember the last part of that slideshow, it said, "Would you be my Valentine's for the rest of my life?" Proposed to her in the theater, and it was like, okay.
That's beautiful.
Strangers watching us.
Still,
yeah.
It's like you put it out there, man.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put everything. I had to do it that way because I love movies, and probably you guys are the same. You'll sit in a theater and you'll either shift your mindset to watching the story and not even think about how it's put together, or you'll flip it and you'll start looking at it from a technical standpoint, and you're like, oh, I'm seeing every single flaw that's coming across the screen. You'll see that continuity errors or and that's just how editors, your eyes start to see that, because you edit so much footage, because you're literally assembling that timeline, and then you go look at someone else's edit. It's like, ooh, that was a little bit of a flaw there, but it's acceptable because the average viewer is not going to notice that unless you're an editor, right? So yeah. But yeah, you guys, this is crazy. You guys worked at the commissary, and you guys ended up being filmmakers. And John, what did you do? Did you coordinate this?
I know.
I'm just the average
And I've never
guy.
met these guys. I mean, we've
Yeah,
never
it's
met.
amazing, isn't it? Isn't it amazing?
And wait, are all you guys Filipino too?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm just kidding. That's it. Wow.
What is this?
I mean, it's like we're all from the same age, group too.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. You guys are 50 years old?
Close.
Or almost
going on 47 this year.
47?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be 51. Yeah.
He doesn't even look like 51.
No.
He doesn't look like he's gonna be 51. No one even looks their age, really. I mean, it's amazing how time treats you guys so well.
No, I look my weight. I don't look my age.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the video and the commissary, I think you can share the sound. Actually, it needs to be clicked. Did you try clicking on that?
What do you mean clicking on?
When you do the when you try to share, there's an option on the bottom left. Share sound.
I did, but I was worried about the
copyright,
the stream. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I hear you. Can always be muted.
Do they shut it down if it's copyrighted music? I don't know anything about that.
I just interviewed that singer a few weeks ago, and I uploaded the video on YouTube, and it was talking about a little bit of a licensing issue, but she somehow helped that. So it says they're given permission. I was like, thank goodness.
Is that technology where it can detect that kind of stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, some bot. Yeah. I'm sure it's some bot involved.
It probably matches it up to the data, kind of like how Shazam works, where it recognizes music.
Yeah.
It probably says, "Is this copyrighted?" And it's okay. We're going to shut you down. So,
is there a way around it? Is it can you dispute it, or just kind of?
No, I think it's either if they take it down, they take it down.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So that's why I was messing with the volume and or didn't have the volume at all. So.
Wow, man. I remember back in the day when internet was just kind of in its infant. I mean, it just started out, and I get it. You use copyright music. They weren't so picky about it. Yeah. But I think as the cameras got more advanced and they started, I mean, the quality of what you're putting out is pretty similar to what the big guys are doing in New York, in Hollywood, it became serious, you know. So it's like now if you do use copyright music with you know, images that look Hollywood, it's like, oh, you're stepping on some wrong feet here. But I get it. I never did like putting, you know, as far as a wedding videographer, I had to have these bride and grooms ask me to put a particular song that they love. But I just never liked putting my work on top of someone else's work. It just didn't fit me. I felt fake doing that. But you know, again, it's a storytelling. The music should be secondary in a sense, you know. But they have some good copyright music now, soundtracks.
Oh yeah, I've got a couple of sites that I use, and it sounds like great, you know.
Yeah, just very produced very well, because the music they used to provide in the early days, it just sounded cheesy, just the way they were produced.
Or everybody would use the same thing. Everybody would use
that too.
Kevin MacLeod.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Man.
But yeah, I did one wedding, and they were big Star Wars nerds, and so
that's hard.
I provided them a separate cut for themselves.
Yeah.
That had, like, you know, the Star Wars score and had the crawl in the beginning and everything. I said, okay, you did not get this from me. This is not part of my company. I said, if you want to show the official thing that came from my company, this is the wedding, this is the cut. But I said, I'll give you a second cut just because you guys really want this. I mean, her father came out in a Darth Vader mask, and he's not a Star Wars nerd. She talked him into it, and then he walked down the aisle, and he took off the mask and said, "Oh, and I am your father." You know, it's like,
man. yeah. But talking about weddings, I mean, here in Hampton Roads, like I said, in my generation or what, I mean, their weddings are just so grand, like humongous. I mean, not humongous, but we in our culture, we just love to celebrate, I guess. You know, now it's a little bit different. I think it's a different generation. They don't want that big fanfare type thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I've seen.
I don't know. I see more, even with, you know, in the Filipino culture, it's everybody wants to do like destination weddings now too. And,
that too. Those are great too. Yeah.
Well, it's good for you. You get to travel.
Yeah. Like Aruba or Mexico and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I don't know. Is there anything else about Hampton Roads that you remember? Kind of any? No.
You know,
I guess as I get older, it's kind of disappearing in some ways.
You're right.
Yeah. You know, as you get older, some of that just go. You can't hold on to most of those memories unless they're really painful or the most best moments. I've lost some. I admit that I lost some. I even got classmates that don't even remember anymore. Yeah. Sad to say, but it's true.
I'll have to admit, every once in a while, I'll go on Google Maps and go through like the street view to like remember where stuff is. Like, you know, okay, this is where my house was over in Salem Woods, and if I move around here, just to see how it's changed. But I'm with John. It's like I can't remember some stuff about it. Like I don't remember the route, you know, to take this or to take that, or, you know.
Yeah, some routes have changed too. When I went back to Hampton, I was like, oh, wait a minute, the Lynn Haven Parkway is connected.
Lynn Haven is a long road now. It goes from Virginia Beach to Chesapeake.
What? Oh
all the way through.
Jeez.
Like it's a shortcut now. I mean, I think they did the right thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know. Yeah.
That got me. Really got me.
It goes all the way to Greenbrier, all the way to, where is it? Battlefield, I would.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, wow.
All the way through.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. It overcrosses Kempsville and Greenbrier Parkway.
Oh,
okay. But I mean, you get there quicker. You don't have to go down Farrell Parkway anymore.
Farrell Parkway is where you used to have to.
Yeah. But then Farrell Parkway, they did something weird with it at that intersection. It's just the way it's configured. I think I almost went the wrong way.
Because I used to live right close to where Lynn Haven and Salem is.
Yeah.
That was my last house.
Yeah.
And so I can't even remember how it looks. But I do miss food.
You do miss the food, the Filipino food?
Well, you know, there's Filipino food around here, but I'm just in general, like seafood. It's like,
the blue crab.
Yeah, stuff from the bay and the
Yeah.
ocean. Or
Yep.
it's like,
Yeah.
like, I can't get that here. Or because you would go to like Chicks Beach, go to Bubba's or something, and then the fish that you're eating was caught right over there at the marina.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here they have to truck it in, and it's from the Gulf, so it tastes different.
Yeah, that's true.
So even like pizza, there's not good pizza. Well, it's okay here because
Yeah.
a lot of the food from Hampton Roads are people who were transplants from New York. So you have like New York style pizza, New York style Chinese food.
Yeah.
And here don't get me wrong, there's definitely tons of good food here, but there's some stuff that's just missing.
Never thought of that.
You want to mention like what food you took home when you were
It's fun. Yeah. So when I went back in 2012, my intention was I'm going to take food back. So I bought a cooler when it came just with a carry-on, but I bought a cooler to check in on the way back to San Antonio so I could get like Chinese spare ribs.
Really?
I thought I bought some type of fish, so I just got a cooler and put some ice in it and then back. It's like
that's cool. Sounds like my parents trying to pack a bunch of blue crab and bring it to San Diego.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a great flight. It's like all that crab smell.
Yep. And then they open it and they're like, oh, what is this? Do you guys remember like Angie's Bakery?
I still go there
Yeah.
whenever I get the chance. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I went to the one that used to have.
Or Glory's Bakery?
Glory's, that's the one I used to go to.
That's over in
still
Chesapeake.
around, right?
Still around, yeah.
Is that the one that had the pepperoni rolls? Somebody had like
I
pepperoni
think so,
bread.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they both had it.
Or Suzanne's Kitchenette. This was my go-to.
Suzanne's Kitchen.
Yeah, Suzanne's
Yeah.
Kitchenette.
Yeah.
Filipino
That's
food.
still there, I think. Yep. Yeah. Man.
Wow.
But yeah, Angie's Bakery is still around. It's just down the street from my house.
Is there a Filipino buffet there now? Because there
Buffet?
wasn't when I left. Yeah, any Filipino buffets? Because there wasn't when I went there.
What's that? Fiesta Han over
Okay.
there at the end of Indian River across from Regent University.
It does sound familiar.
Okay.
I think it's Fiesta. Maybe that name is wrong, but
Fiesta Han or Kainan. I heard about Kainan. I think
oh
that
yeah,
must
that's
be-
probably the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good food.
See, what's funny here is when I left, there was no Filipino buffet in Virginia, but coming here to San Antonio, there were like 3 or 4, even though there's not a lot of Filipinos. Yeah. So like, I'm gonna load up on this stuff.
Yeah. New trends. Yeah. So they're definitely upgrading like the bridges, like the Hampton Roads Bridge and the Chesapeake Bridge.
Yeah.
I think they're doubling it or something.
Yeah, they're making another one like
Yeah.
Really?
Way to go.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've seen this thing on Facebook that some people are posting that are not from Virginia, and they're just forwarding a picture of the Hampton Roads Bridge tunnel. And it says, in Virginia, there's a bridge that goes underwater into a tunnel. Would you drive this? I'm like, to drive it every day.
Yeah.
They're like, it's something spectacular.
Yeah. I actually just drove my friend through there. He just arrived from San Diego, and I said, we're underwater. And he's like, are you serious? Like, yeah, we're underwater right now. And there's a leak. He's like freaking out. There's a leak somewhere, so we got to get out of here. But yeah, isn't it one of the 8 wonders of the world?
Something. Because it looks, if you look at it, it looks weird. It's just like you're just going into the water. And...
Yeah. I think how they built it, they had these tubes and they sunk it, right? And then they drained it.
Yeah.
That's how they did it. Yeah.
Yeah, something like they built it from both ends and then they sunk it.
Yeah, I just remember being a kid riding in there. That's how old they are, right? And
they used to have tolls when I was a kid.
tolls. Oh, I remember the tolls. The Virginia Beach.
Oh yeah.
Well, they had tolls on the Hampton Roads Bridge tunnel when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Do you remember throwing 10 cents to get on the interstate?
Yes.
Or if you didn't have 10 cents, or you'd look on the ground and see.
I remember we
Throw
used
it
to do
up
that.
there. Yeah. I remember that.
I was just in Norfolk maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was taking the highway 264 and then getting off on Independence. And I drove by where the toll plaza used to be, and every time I was about just,
You just threw a dime anyway.
The street's different because
Yeah.
that's where the toll booth was. So
Yep.
yeah.
Oh man.
That's what it was. Have you guys ever been to Dumars
I've been there once.
in Norfolk?
I'm a
Yeah.
late bloomer. I went there 2 years ago. So first
You went
time.
there 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
time. That's
Little
late
car hop
bloomer.
place.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Much often, obviously, because I don't know.
It was off
Yeah.
Monticello or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Historical place.
I took my girlfriend there, so she saw it for the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's basically
Yeah.
it's what Sonic wishes it would be. It could be.
yeah.
They have like the car.
I know it's
hops.
old when your dad says that he went on a date over there. Like,
Nice.
back in the Navy days. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see some place for you to go, Reg, that you hadn't been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should go there. You lived
Yeah,
here.
I mean, it's like, when I go home, I just pretty much just stay with the family, and then when I'm home, I'm like,
Mhm,
I feel like I'm at my parents' house, and I'm just like,
mhm,
I can't go out because my mom's there, or something.
You should say, hey, Mom, do you want to go to Dumars? Let's get,
mhm.
So I mean,
get a milkshake.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just
Wow.
funny, like, especially if you live in Norfolk and you don't go to places in Norfolk. Like, I've never been to Nauticus or the ship there. Was it the Arizona? I can't remember.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
The
Wisconsin. That's it. Yep.
Wisconsin. It's like,
Yeah.
They
yeah.
say people say like it's pretty cool and you could even stay there, but like
Mhm.
never tried it.
Well, it's like you go to New York and half the New Yorkers haven't been to like the Statue of Liberty or ridden the Staten Island Ferry or anything,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Like
true.
you don't take advantage of it.
I knew
Yeah.
people in San Francisco and I asked them, you ever gone to Alcatraz? And they're like, no. I'm like, it's right there. Let's go, it's right there.
I asked the same here, and none of these people went to the Sears Tower. So
Mhm.
Yeah, see?
Mhm.
Same thing here in San Antonio. Yeah, people don't go to the Alamo here,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how is the housing market over there? I mean, where you guys live, is it high or is it low, or
Well,
you
it's
know?
bad now with COVID because everybody's buying. It's a seller's market. So,
Okay.
but the cost of the houses, it was much cheaper here. When I moved here in 2009, it was
Yeah.
much cheaper here than Virginia.
Yeah.
I probably got 1,500 square feet more than my house in Virginia Beach for maybe 30,000 less. And so, but it's gone up. The trade-off is the houses are cheap, but the property taxes are high.
Mm.
So, it's about the same. But it's kind of crowded. There's like, I don't know, 1.5 million people here. So, but there's a lot of apartments. And a lot of storage places. So I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the reason why I asked my friend, he's visited down here and he's like blown away by the prices of the houses down here in Hampton Roads. He's like, "Are you serious? That's how much your house costs? That same house would be like almost $1 million in San Diego."
yeah, it's getting
know.
really expensive over there.
Yeah, I heard the median price for a home is $800,000 in San Diego, but he showed me a house that was like almost $400,000, and he said, "Look at this house. This house is $400,000, and it's in the dumps." And it looked. I was like, "That's what you get for $400,000 in San Diego?" And he's like, "Yeah, and it's in a real bad crack area too." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay, I like living here then." But that's probably everywhere in California, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure.
Prices are high and taxes. So yeah, it's other benefit living here. But you go up to Northern Virginia, their houses are expensive up there. Get less house, but their standard of living is higher, I guess. So that's Reggie. That's where you're in that area. Why you said Washington?
No, I'm in Central Virginia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Like an hour past Richmond.
Yeah.
And it's more of a quaint town. Charlottesville is, just like a town.
Yeah.
And, it's really not that big. It's getting bigger since I've moved here. It's definitely not like Hampton Roads level. And so I'd say it was like, I'm not sure what the market is for. It's very much,
But I remember my dad sold our house in Norfolk, and because we didn't want to move there, we wanted to go straight to Virginia Beach when he retired. And that same house now is think it's like 300,000. But then back in the day when you bought it in the 70s, it was like 27,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the cost of a car today.
I know.
Yeah, oh my gosh. But yeah,
Yep.
that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, you're right. Everyone wanted to migrate over to Virginia Beach because it was growing, and
Yeah.
you know, I guess families or our dads retiring, you know, said, okay, let's all go there. Everyone's going there. But some stayed back, you know,
Yeah.
and by choice, you know. Just like my in-laws, they kept the same home since they first moved here, but never swayed by like what everyone else was doing. Let's move to Virginia Beach because their homes are newer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Virginia Beach can be fickle though, because it's like I remember in the late 70s, early 80s, and Green Run was like where everybody was moving.
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah,
by
yeah.
I don't know, 10, 12 years later, then it's Green Run's old. We're all moving to Salem now. You know?
Yep. I remember that. I remember when I went to Green Run, they were just building Salem High School. So that's why Green Run was so overpopulated. I couldn't even find parking in the morning going to school, and it was just all Filipinos. And just then the next year, I think Salem got built, and it kind of tapered off, and it was less people. And so yeah, transition, you know. But that's Hampton Roads, that's Virginia Beach, you know. Still the same old, you drive around, you still see the same things. Mount Trashmore is still there. Definitely Town Center is like a city that just popped up
Yeah.
out of nowhere. Pembroke Mall is still there. It's okay mall. It's kind of dead. And definitely Military Circle is a dead mall. They took out the movie theater,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
So what else is in there? There's nothing but mom and pop shops. I don't know
Mom
how
and
that's
pop
gonna.
shops. I think they're
Yeah.
gonna make it into like an office complex in some parts.
Yeah, I think Centera's there now. It's a medical place.
Oh,
It's
that's
a-
that's the end of a mall
Yeah.
when they start
Yep.
renting it out to businesses.
Yep, it has nothing to do with mall shopping. I think they should tear it down and turn it into something else. Maybe
Pharrell wanted to kind of get that space and revitalize it.
Yeah, it's a big location, you know. That what is it? That hotel that's in the dead center is still there.
Oh,
That DoubleTree?
Yeah, that thing's been there forever. It's like
I took a walk around there. My parents sometimes like walking around them all and into that building, and you could see like they emptied out everything, like the fixtures and the windows.
Oh,
It's just a shell of a building, and it's just like, you know.
Yeah, it used to be the Sheraton back in the day, and then that's where the wrestlers would stay when they would go to Scope, and then so you'd see Flair and Sting walking around Military Circle Mall.
Oh my gosh, Piccadilly was there, right?
Yep.
Was it Piccadilly?
Oh, right on the outside.
And Bobby Brown, when he used to come into town to visit Teddy Riley, he loved Piccadilly. He'd go there to eat at Piccadilly in the Military Circle Mall. It's like, it's just crazy that
yeah, it's an empty shell of itself.
Yeah,
it's not the same, but that's a sign of the times.
I still frequent around that area, but I just go to Costco.
Oh yeah, Costco.
Yeah,
I love Costco. Yeah.
That's the only place I go to around there. I don't go anywhere else.
Is Janif still open?
Is it still called a Janif Shopping Yard or something like that?
Shopping yard.
Montgomery Ward is gone. That just all went into like a whole, couple of more stores over there.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff happening. A lady ran over her boyfriend. I don't know, something like that.
Oh, I remember that. I saw that on the news.
Oh wow,
that was terrible.
Like he was cheating on her or something, or she thought he was, and then she ran him over with her car.
Ran him over.
A couple times, yeah.
Threw the bumper right at him.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
He was bleeding, but he survived.
Wow.
So,
yeah. But I think Hampton Roads is picking up. They got Top Golf now.
Yeah.
They got Top Golf. You're seeing like different restaurants that you'd only see in different, places like what is that hamburger place? The something Shack.
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack. Yeah, that's there at Pembroke.
Is there IKEA there now, right?
Yeah, IKEA's here. So
And
we're kind of catching up.
Yeah.
The outlet mall's there now too.
The outlet mall. We're kind of catching up as far as what's in other cities. Yeah. but it's crazy how it's the 7 cities, like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that they're getting in their own way. I think if they were to get together, then they could be
Mhm.
like this huge thing,
Mhm.
get a sports team, who knows,
Yeah. Yeah. And then the beaches, I mean, our beach is really nice. It's a family beach, and like you said, I think Pharrell is planning
Another.
Oh, another
Another-
something in the water.
Yeah.
not
Something
only
like-
that, they're going to put like a place where they
arena?
can surf, like a
Oh.
wave
Oh, nice.
place. Yeah, an entertainment center over there. I just saw a glimpse of it, but I mean that's gonna allow people to surf all year.
Well,
You know,
they
and
still
do-
have the ECSC over there, right? The East Coast Surfing Championship, I think.
Mhm. Yep, I
So-
saw people surfing there the other day. It's just, but yeah, our city's pretty cool. That something in the water is an amazing thing too. They couldn't do it for the last 2 years because of COVID, but
Mhm.
our city goes on somewhat of a, not a lockdown, but they're requesting if you guys have any room in your home to rent,
Mm.
for people, because the hotels are overbooked.
I have to say, I
So-
was kind of upset because I knew about it because I still
Mhm.
listen to Z104 in the morning sometimes. I'll just
Uh-huh.
when I
Mhm.
was driving,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, oh, something in the water. This is great, and hear all the acts and Snoop and all these big acts down there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nationally, it didn't get a lot of news. And I'm
Hmm.
like, why are they not talking about this more? This is, to me, is big or bigger than like Austin city limits.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so not Austin city
Interesting.
limits. But I don't know why it wasn't given more publicity, because there was a lot of big acts and it could really bring more attention to Virginia, definitely.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't want attention on the area.
I mean, Beyonce was here. Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah. Maybe next time. Who knows? Maybe it was the marketing or something. Yeah. But yeah, we
hopefully
need to
they'll
all
get-
connect sometime when you,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you guys still
Yeah.
go back there, right? Reggie and John. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely let you know, Dave
Yeah.
and Reggie, if ever I
but-
make my way back during the holidays.
Yeah. Family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
like I s-
definitely have a lot of videos we could probably show you, because
Mhm.
the time when I was trying to get back into filmmaking, I was at my art school. I was actually working there, and I got to borrow some of their camera equipment, and it was only a DVX 100.
Mhm.
So I would take it back to Norfolk, and then Dan and I would try to make a movie. Well, I was actually just a trailer, so I'll have to show you that. But
Oh,
and that was
yeah.
a shot all around Hampton Roads too. So
Yeah.
I think you'll definitely get a kick out of seeing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a question. Did you guys go to film school?
So I went to art school.
Yeah.
I went for media arts and animation.
Yeah.
I learned editing and computer animation.
Yeah.
I went for computer animation. I
Yeah.
love to draw, but I learned editing and videoing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I really love that. I really love editing, and
Mhm.
that's kind of where my passion is. Or
Yeah.
it just comes easy to me.
Yeah.
I've just been doing it for so long. I love doing graphics, but
Yeah.
what you were talking about cameras earlier, and it's like all that's like way over my head now, because it's so hard to keep up. And that's why I like
It is.
animation. Like, screw all those other
Yeah.
cameras. I don't need a camera. I got a digital camera.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
just get wherever
Yeah.
I have as many as I need, and
Yeah.
you control all the
Yeah.
actors. And stuff. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of where but I did still love the storytelling. I love
Mhm.
special effects. And that's when Dan and I were trying to shoot this action movie thriller thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I have to
Mhm.
do that sometime.
And it's on YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely have to link you that, Dave.
Yeah. My
So here's my question. Do you think people who get into film today, do you think they need to go to film school?
not well,
Go 4 years, get that education, and
it helped. I mean, there was a
it
book
helped?
that I
Yeah.
read on editing that changed everything on how I shoot, how I see composition and everything like that.
Mhm.
It was so helpful. I wish I even remember which book it was, but and then just like getting out there does help a lot to just
Yeah.
because when we shot our trailer, I learned a lot, but then it was when I started doing TV commercials, where I learned even more and got more proficient in editing and graphics and all that stuff. It's all in experience. I mean, experience is
Yeah.
your best teacher, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think film school it brings out what's already in you. So if
Yeah.
'cause they can teach you the fundamentals, and it's good because if you have like the eye or the talent,
Yeah.
going to film school will help you achieve that a lot quicker, because then you'll learn the
Yeah.
fundamentals of of framing, of cinematography, of,
Yeah.
of editing, of telling a story.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you'd be on YouTube Academy, and it'll take you years and years. But you can
Yeah.
still do it. And that
Yeah,
was my
yeah.
route. I never studied
Yeah.
formally, but I just picked up on everything. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I've seen students go to film school, be great students, pass the tests and everything, but they're not creative. Or, I actually
Yeah.
just spoke at a local class here, and it was like maybe 6 or 7 students, and it was just over Zoom. And they were the senior class of film
Mhm.
students. It was just like, one of the community colleges, but still it's like, it was their second or third year. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
they did not seem to know a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
questions
Yeah.
they asked, I was expecting
Yeah.
them to ask more questions, and I was kind of,
Yeah.
pulling them into, okay, well, what do you think? Well, what are you
Yeah.
looking for? And it's like, so you guys are the senior students,
Yeah.
So, but like I said, if you've already got the passion and the motivation and the talent for it, I think
Yeah.
it'll help, because there's a lot of stuff that I picked up just in the past few years that it's
Yeah.
like, if I would have gone to film school, it's like, oh, if I would have known this, 15 years ago, I would have already been
Mhm.
way on track.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everyone's on a different track on how they learn. For me, I never went to film school.
Mhm.
It just fell in my lap, and I just, from, like you said, experience is the best teacher. And like I said, well, for me, when my company started growing, I actually had some employees that went to film school, and it's just amazing. And what was an eye opener was, the stuff that they would produce, and I'm like, are you serious? You went to film school? And really, what they probably only taught was how to push buttons and
Mhm.
stuff, and then they have to have the passion for it too,
Mhm.
because it shows. It shows. So, you know, yeah, I would love to maybe one day go to, if there's time permits in my life, to maybe dabble into going to film school. Maybe go to film school to see what I didn't pick up on my own, and just to be in that environment and connect with other film students. You know, but as a freelancer, it's worked well for me to go out there and just do it.
Mhm.
And with
Yeah,
technology in
totally
your
agree.
hands, and with everything on the internet, you can learn a lot on the internet too, on your own. I get it with education, where you need to go to school to be a nurse or something like that. But with maybe filmmaking, it might be a little bit different. There's a lot of education out there that you can purchase online to sharpen your blades.
Exactly.
So yeah, because
Yeah,
film school's not cheap either.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
There's a guy I work with. He's a professional cameraman and professional gaffer, and
Mhm.
he knows everything there is to know about lights and cameras.
Yeah.
And he was like Willard Scott's cameraman on the Today Show. And
Oh, really?
so
Yeah,
he's part of a
yeah.
creative team.
Yeah.
Film and the stuff that they put out is so technical.
Uh-huh.
It's lit well, but it's just I don't know, the story, or it's
Mhm.
they don't deviate from to be creative. It's like everything's textbook. And I think that's the hazard of people going to film school, is they're going to all learn the same thing and all shoot
Yeah,
the same way.
it's too bland. There's no
Mhm.
thinking out of the box,
And he's
yeah,
amazed. I mean,
yeah,
like you said, to toot my own
Yeah.
horn, he's amazed by the stuff that I do. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just doing what I think looks right,
Yeah.
because I've been doing it for a while. So
yeah,
he's like, yeah, he's told me, he said, like, you do more with nothing than everybody else that I know.
Mhm.
So, and it's like, just because I know how it's supposed to look. And that's where I'm
Mhm.
failing, is like the terminology,
Mhm.
or like, the language of actual, film and production sets.
Yeah.
But I just know that it's supposed to be this way. I may not know what to
Yeah.
call it,
Yeah.
but I know
Yeah.
that doesn't look right.
You're doing it from instinct, and
Mhm.
I tell 'em, people I teach how to edit, and even for myself, I edit from my gut. If it
Mhm.
feels right, it feels right. It's just an art. And sometimes, not to toot my horn, it's like you either got it or you don't. That's what I noticed with people who want to learn how to edit. And some people are tech savvy and some people are more creative by instinct. And that's just, film school can't teach that.
Yeah.
Again, I edit out of my gut and feelings of how it feels when I watch it. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the directors I work with,
Yeah.
He has some editing skill, but if he
Mhm.
has stuff that he shot and it doesn't work out right, he'll just
Mhm.
omit entire scenes. I'm like, well, you can creatively do this. You can use this shot. You can
Mhm.
take the audio
Mhm.
from this, and
Mhm.
I'm not sure what he learned.
Yeah. Hey, John, I'm sorry again. I'm sorry that we went off deviated away from
Oh, it's
the main
okay.
theme, which is
It
living
is
in Hampton
okay.
Roads.
So this probably means we can go through Dave's pictures.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Let me see if this works. Not
Oh
sure.
gosh, I don't even know what's in there. Like, oh boy. See, I didn't have enough time to live in Hampton Roads to hang out with the crew or be be.
No, it wouldn't work. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
wow.
I'm sorry I didn't put anything together.
Oh, it's
Next
okay.
time I
Next
will.
time.
Yeah.
At least
yeah.
they know
Yeah.
they know you in a way through Grace, and then they know Grace too. So
Yeah. Grace was, and I'm not trying to turn this into a memorial or anything. She really changed my life. And like I said, I went through high school and everything, not meeting anybody because of just being somewhat of an introverted person. And then again, after high school, I started my business, and everybody that I wish I could have met or talked to ended up being my clients. So it was like, whoa, am I a late bloomer or something? And my confidence came up and my communication skills came up where I was able to talk to people, because in business, you have to be that way. And then I went through my 20s watching everyone else fall in love, through the lens. And at that time, video and weddings went well together. And I made a good living out of it, and my business grew. And again, it was that phone call from her when I was 27, asking me to film her parents' 35th wedding anniversary. And she asked me if I can not only film it, but create a tribute to her parents. And I put that together, showed it at her parents' anniversary. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. And I have it on video. She literally got up and she got on that microphone and said, "I'm looking for a man to dance with." And I didn't know she was yelling that out to me. And she grabbed my arm and we ended up dancing in the middle of the dance floor. It was to a Titanic song, that love song. And I'm like looking at her, and my camera guy's taping us at the same time. This is all in the wedding story. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, wow, God gave me her at the right time. And I guess good things happen to people who wait. And the rest was history. Our first date was on Valentine's, and she was my soulmate. And after that, all our dates were at weddings. And she supported me through the tough times of owning a business, even down to the point. And I'll be very transparent. It was 2013. I hit a wall because I took more than I could handle. I had over 150 wedding videos due. These were backlog, and the backlog came from my editors because they didn't edit it right. It was delegating my work, and my customers were saying, this doesn't look like what we saw when we first met you. So it was like compounding. I mean, you can imagine each of these videos take about 30 hours to finish. And then my wife came home somewhat angry, and she looked at me and said, "There are about 12 people that want to sue us and take us in the ringer." And I was like, feeling so little at that moment. And she looked at me, and this is how strong Grace is. And she says, "I'm going to cash out on some of my investments, and I'm going to go pay back the ones that are yelling. And then I want you to hire the two best editors you can to get you out of this hole and get you out of this situation." And I said, okay. And we spent the next 2 years finishing all those videos, and we got them done. And then my wife said, "You need to take a break. Take a break, completely walk away from the business." I walked away from it, and I had to wear an apron I had to watch the kids at home, and it was like I lost my identity, but I needed that break because I was so burned out. And then kind of fast forward, my wife said, it's going to be okay. Your season's going to come one day and everything's going to be okay. I promise you, you're going to do really well when you come back. You just need a break. So fast forward, I took care of her mom and dad, help. I actually had her mom move into our home. She had Alzheimer's, and I took care of her because, see, Grace, she supported me and I had to return it in some sort of way. And of course, her mom passed in 2018. And then Grace, after her mom passed away, 2019 rolled around, and then Grace was diagnosed with cancer. And I spent the whole year from January all the way through November being a caregiver again. It was the hardest thing ever to deal with. And she passed away, and now I'm here back in my work in that season that she talked about. I can only take what she put in to help me where I am today to be the best version of myself. I'm completely not burned out anymore. I'm more inspired than ever to do the best I can for my two kids, but also to take that mantle that she gave me, for all the sacrifices she gave me to be who I am today, to take my gifts and talents and turn something into it so that I can help others with it. And of course, to help my family and my kids eat, if you want to put it that way. That's my story. And I know a good story, and I'm not trying to put myself in a limelight, but a good story has conflict. And if you can get through those conflicts and challenges and persevere, it becomes a wonderful story at the end. And I'm hoping, and it will be a good story at the end. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I just know I'm heading that direction. I can't see any other way of doing. I can't see myself doing anything else but filmmaking. This is a deep passion, and whether it's telling stories from the past of Virginia Beach or sitting here talking about it, this is all storytelling right now.
Yeah.
And I just love from a podcast platform. I just started getting into podcasting and met John, and it's just an opportunity to have a voice. Podcasting is an amazing way to express yourself. And as you guys know, audio is everything when it comes to film, because if audio is not there, you don't have a dialogue or narrative, you're pretty much looking through a window, and you might as well put earplugs on and just look through the window, wonder what's going on out there. I think being able to hear the birds or hear what's going on from the outside, from the inside to the outside, just adds another dimension to filmmaking. So John, thank you for this opportunity to communicate and meet these two other filmmakers.
You're very welcome.
So I'm sorry I was going on a ramble.
I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
We need to hear your perspective, man. We need to hear everyone's perspective, and we hope to have you three back again for for another topic.
Yeah,
whatever that will be.
It'll be filmmaking and cameras and
probably more likely
showing your pieces of work. Hey.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my new lens. This is what I got.
From a technical standpoint,
each of you got an IMDb profile besides Dan?
I do not.
You do now.
I do. I haven't.
You do have one now. You have an entry in IMDb now.
Nice. How about you, Dave? Are you on IMDb?
What is that?
Oh yeah, tell him, Dan, what IMDb is.
It's the. Do you not know?
Huh?
No, it's just the Internet Movie Database, and it was anybody who's in the who wants to be in the industry always definitely wants to try to.
Oh wow!
Entry in there. So
see, I'm all new to this. Yeah.
So whether it's for short films or behind the scenes acting, whatever. So it's basically like when we were in the 90s and we saw an actor and it's like, what else was that person in? Now you can go to look at that movie and see who that person was and everything that they were in, but it doesn't for cast and crew. So there's definitely a way to, if you've got work that's out there that's published, that's been in festivals, or even if it's just been electronic, you can submit the work and put your profile on IMDb so that people can kind of see.
Oh, cool.
Or even that appearance you made on your special, with your wife on TLC. You should add that as part of your.
That could.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
surprisingly, sometimes people are on IMDb and they don't know it because they were part of a crew and whoever
Oh,
held
wow.
it, they put everybody in as a credit.
Yeah. Wow, I'll have to look at that. Is that easy to look up? Do I just
Yeah,
Google
just
it? Or-
IMDb.com.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I need to catch up on that kind of stuff. Like I said, I just started coming back. I just came back in February, back into my work after all that break. So I'm not
So-
familiar what's out there.
It's
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
if you're on Amazon Prime and
Mhm.
you're watching a movie, you can like pause a movie and then it's going to show you like IMDb.
Oh yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
It'll show the
Yeah.
actors.
yeah, that's where it pulls it from.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
So
Cool.
like say, here, let me see if I can bring up IMDb and just share it.
Mhm.
I'll just share screen. So like here's an entry
Oh.
for IMDb.
Oh, cool.
So like this
That's-
weird
see my
down to the
pictures
wire
there. Yeah.
movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look what it is.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Look at that.
And then so you can have stills from the movie or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, cool.
Action scene.
What a way to lead Dave on here.
I
Oh,
want
look
to
at
be in
that.
one of your movies.
Look at that effect shot there. Nice.
Yeah, you can barely see it, but yeah.
But,
Oh, it was fun. It was fun being action here.
From commissary to movies.
Do you recognize some of the scenes? Like
yeah, this is
Dominion
over.
Tower,
This is in Ghent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, this was in the Dominion Tower garage. You can't
Mirage,
see
and
it.
Waterside.
Mhm.
So we got some other cast members in there. So
That's cool.
yeah, that's the
Waterside.
waterside
Mhm.
right at the main tower.
Top of the parking garage.
That's,
Wow.
Parents' house.
well, that's my
So
old
when you
house.
finish these movies, do you how do you show them? Do you like just
Well,
post
This one was just for fun.
for
You
fun?
know,
It's a
in fact,
passion
the-
project.
Funny
This
that
is-
like we weren't even on YouTube yet. I mean, that was
Yeah.
2007, so
Yeah.
we didn't even have an account. And I just wanted to do it for fun, and I was just going to put it on a DVD
Yeah.
and show my family.
Yeah.
They never thought about like going viral or whatever. Just do it
Yeah.
for fun.
Yeah.
People don't get that now. It's just like
Yeah.
It's and that entry was more of kind of just for fun too. That IMDb, I just put it up last week. That
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like
we didn't really intend for it to be on IMDb.
yeah, it's not even a real movie. It's only like a 2-minute
Like a
Really?
trailer.
Yeah.
trailer
Cool.
of a movie, but we only shot for the trailer, so I
Mhm.
could do the special effects and do certain lines
Hmm.
and just have fun. And
Do you guys do like comedy? What's your main genre?
That was the only. Well, you've done some comedic stuff, Rich. For like
Comedic,
YouTube
yeah.
stuff.
And
Yeah.
then we actually joined YouTube just to be part of that Heinz ketchup commercial. Yeah.
Contest.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, commercial contest. And then each of us, we helped each other to do our own entries.
Hmm.
And then from then, I had a YouTube account, and then I just started posting some of my work from art school. And
Yeah.
then I started meeting people online and doing like more special effects and vlogs and things like that, just for fun. And I always
Yeah.
like adding the special effects element, even if it's just me talking to the screen.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of editing that way. And then we did this super huge superhero collab with a lot of people from all over the YouTube community, all over the world.
Wow.
And there was like two episodes of that, or whatever, sequels of that. And speaking about getting burned out, like the last one had like probably like, I don't know how, a ton of effect shots and a lot of people I had to keep in touch with around the world. And I got totally burned out. And then after that, it's like, I'm done with YouTube. I'm done with editing projects.
Yeah.
I'm editing for work anyway. So why should I edit more when I get home?
Yeah.
So
I heard a lot of YouTubers get burned out.
Yeah.
They kind of stop and say, hey, this is just too much.
Because they're just constantly trying to create new stuff, and content
pressure,
to keep people
yeah.
watching.
I mean,
So
nowadays, yeah, you think it's the coolest thing to create your own stuff, but it's a business now, and it's like you have to produce this, and you have to say this, and you have to mention these sponsors. Like that's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it becomes a job.
Yes. Yeah. The work that I do for like the post-production for the shorts that other people do, it's like they always want to enter them into film festivals. I guess they want to I think they want to get the recognition so that way when it's time to do a full feature, they'll say, well, I've done 7 award-winning shorts, you know. And that's, to me, you know, short films is, you should only do like 1 or 2. If you really want to get into like full movies, it's just kind of like practice. And I'm trying to learn the business side of it, like distribution. It's like, once you do have it, what do you do with it? You know, are you making this movie just to show your friends, or to feel like you created something, or do you want to try to make some money off of it, or, you know, show people your art? So a lot of people went to Amazon. That was a big thing, because back in the day, Amazon would take anything. You format it a certain way, you put on the subtitles, they'll take it, you pay like a certain amount of money, but then you get like, for every hour that it was viewed, you get like 22 cents. So like if you put it on Amazon Prime for streaming, and it adds up. But then so many people were putting it on Amazon. Amazon just said, forget it, we don't want any new content. So now they pay like 1 cent per hour, which is like, you know, you pay like, you know, $3,000 to get your thing on Amazon and only get 1 cent per hour review. So, you know, Netflix is kind of the big thing, because Netflix has to kind of buy off into it. They pay you for it, you know? So that's kind of thing that I'd like to get something on Netflix. Like, you know, if I did a docuseries.
Oh yeah. That's the ultimate goal right there, huh? Yeah. Something on Hampton Roads.
Hey Dan, tell Dave what else you did. I know I mentioned it before, but
what did I do?
Who? Dan?
I was in a band.
We mentioned it in the last episode, Dan.
I can't.
I even flickered the light for you. Remember that?
Well, yeah, I remember what the book.
The book.
I did write a book back in the day, but it's like self-published. And my story was, I only wrote the book because I had issues with completing things. So like I'd start a bunch of stuff, I'd start a screenplay, I'd started the book. I started that book like in 2006, and I wrote 11 pages, and that was it. And then I said, I need to finish something. Yeah, that's like, so, you know, I was doing nothing. It's like, you know, I'd be so excited. It's like ADD was kicking in. And then so I said, that was like 2011 maybe, or 2010. I said, I'm going to finish this, just so if I finish this, maybe it'll give me motivation to start doing other stuff. So sure enough, I finished it. I just self-published it, and then didn't want anything to do with the book after that, and then said, now I can complete other stuff. And then sure enough, that's when I started getting back into actual doing editing, and got my job doing editing, and really got, because even the same thing, I would buy a bunch of camera equipment. We started off with an old camcorder, like a digital tape camcorder, a Canon, what was it called? Vixia, Canon Vixia. And I said, oh, this is kind of cool, because it was the first one that shot in 24p, and so it looked, you know, kind of like cinema. But then I said, oh, I want to get into DSLRs, so I bought like a Canon Rebel, like a T1i, and I didn't touch it for like years. So I'd always start stuff, and then I sold that. I just took a few pictures with it, sold it, and got a T3i. Never touched that. But then after I wrote the book, then I said, oh, I can start shooting stuff. And started to shoot more stuff, and now I'm shooting on a Z-Cam. So
it's like a love-hate.
I'm gonna step out for a minute.
Sure.
Right.
You disappear through your background.
I know. You just back up.
Melt away.
Like Homer Simpson to the bushes.
What, you have to use a bathroom?
Yeah, pretty much.
We are all at that age.
You're not going to hear the flush, though.
He's going to do like the Naked Gun and forget the microphones on him.
Oh, gosh. You know, that happened one time. I put the lapel mic on the groom, right? So he goes off, and I didn't know he was on the same channel as the PA system in the church.
Oh, gosh.
And it's like people are in the church, and there you go.
Oh,
everyone's
my gosh.
listening to him use a bathroom. I'm like, who is that?
I gotta
yeah.
hand it to you because weddings are tough.
Yeah. Oh gosh, they are hard because I mean the pressure is on because it's not like a movie set where you can go back and reshoot it.
Mhm.
There's only one take,
Mhm.
and you can't make people come back and reshoot it. And if you miss something like the cake cutting or important parts, you can have angry customers. So it's hard, and you're in an uncontrolled environment too.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have no control of the lighting or even the people, because sometimes I'll deal with customers or grooms who don't want to wear the lapel mic,
Mhm.
or the pastor or priest doesn't want to wear it. So how am I supposed to get good sound during the vows? So yeah, it's not like a movie set. You're on your toes,
Yeah.
the whole day. Yeah.
I did the one, and that was enough to convince me that I couldn't do it.
It's hard.
Well, the problem was I was by myself too, so
That's hard. Oh gosh. Yeah.
So-
I was gonna ask if you just shot mostly by yourself, or do you have?
yeah, I did. It was a friend's sister, so
Yeah.
they weren't going to get anybody, because I
Oh
don't
my
think they could
gosh.
afford it. So I said, I'll do it for free because I just need
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
So I set up a wide, like a 14 millimeter to go down
Mhm.
the aisle. I just put that on a
Mhm.
tripod. I
Yeah.
set another one off to the side, like an 85 millimeter, and then I went
Yeah.
handheld. And I didn't even have like a gimbal or anything. I was just
Yeah.
kind of, I had a shoulder mount, I think.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, like I felt so invasive during the reception because
Yeah.
everybody's dancing, the lights are party lights,
Mhm.
and I'm like
Mhm.
in people's faces, and
Mhm.
I don't want to turn on my light. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And the audio, I did put I didn't have them mic'd up,
Yeah.
but I hit a lav in like they had like an archway,
Mhm.
and it sounded fine,
Nice.
but then it conked out. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, you get those kind of can't go back and redo it. It's
Yeah.
one of those things.
I mean,
So,
I didn't have the experience, and I didn't have the proper tools, and I didn't have the crew. So I said,
yeah.
I mean, I could probably do it now, but I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not really where. But I want something more controlled, like you said.
Controlled, and for me, I got burned out because I wasn't challenged anymore. It was the same thing over and over again. I was like, man, I was just in this church last weekend, just different people.
Yeah.
And then, to edit it becomes painful because there's no challenge, there's no story. Sometimes it's just like, okay, I'm just editing a bunch of drunk people,
Mhm.
partying, and there's no. I started trying to figure angles to make it more interesting and get it from a storytelling aspect. So I would probably have the bride and groom come back
Mhm.
into my studio, and I'd interview them on camera and say, how did you meet? And
Yeah.
just almost turn it into a wedding story. And that made editing a lot more complicated. And then I started looking for conflict during the wedding, other than,
Oh,
which was cool because it added another dimension. I remember one wedding where the, what was it? The bride was crying,
mhm.
and it was raining outside, and they were supposed to have an outdoor wedding. So me being the videographer, I actually probed her as she was crying and getting her makeup done. And I said, hey, so what are you crying for? Can you just kind of elaborate on that? She goes, well, I really wish I had an outdoor wedding, and it's just raining outside. And so it added a little bit of tension into the video.
Nice.
But later on, down the end of the wedding video, where they're done with the reception, it was actually a nice sunny day, and the rainbow was out. So I actually revisited that question again, said, so how do you feel now? And she goes, well, it's the best day of my life, and no weather is going to take away that. So I resolved it at the end. The conflict was, her being upset, and then her feeling better about it at the end. The other one, I captured these wedding crashers.
Oh, wow.
So of course I have my headphones on, and I can hear the groom cussing. I'm like, what's he cussing for? And he's actually going, did you invite those two? And these two guys are just drinking up. And the old me would have been like, what? I'm not going to record this. I recorded it. I actually recorded the groom cussing, and then I actually followed the two wedding crashers walking around drinking. In hindsight, maybe that's not something to document at the moment. I don't think it's something they want to remember, but when they got their video, it was actually the best part of the video, because it's conflict. It's out of the ordinary, and it's not predictable.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I started looking for those kind of things. There's
perfect.
challenges on a wedding day, and it just added dimension. But the one thing I did back in 2000, which was not even done before, was I was actually doing same day edits.
Oh,
Which
nice.
this is
Wow.
back in 2000. So I already had a nonlinear system at that time. Not a lot of people had a system yet to edit on hard drives. It was really expensive. But so what I would do, I'd film the wedding, and of course I already had their pre-love story edited. The back end was going to be part of their wedding, kind of showing them getting married. So everything's edited in the front end, which is their love story and all the cool shots. But what I would do, we'd shoot the wedding, I'd have a crew, and then after the ceremony, I'd pack up my stuff, leave the camera guys at the church to continue taping, and then I go straight to the reception site. And I would be editing in my car, or I'd be editing in the kitchen. I remember I was editing in the kitchen, and these chefs were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm trying to finish this video that's going to be shown in about 10 minutes. And the pressure's on because I'm communicating with the DJ. He said, "Is it done yet? There's people waiting." I'm like, "No, I've got to render this." The computers were slow, and I always pulled it off. And I even got it to the last minute where I showed the bride and groom being introduced, and then the camera guy would hand me the tape. This is DV tape.
Yeah.
And I have to digitize it, look for it, and then add it, and then I'd burn it on a DVD. That takes time to render. And I take that DVD and then I play it through the DVD player on the projector screen. But the thing that it did, it showcased my work in front of all these people, and it blew people away because it was like, that just happened
I know.
like a split second ago. How did you do that? And I think I would always go to these events and run out of business cards.
Wow.
And you know, today, could you do that today and blow people away? Probably not, because everything is instantaneous today. Oh,
Yeah.
my thing's going up, but yeah, I have this up desk that just wanted to go up.
This is on its own.
Drinking, what the heck?
Yeah, but
It says you've been sitting a while. Stand up and walk around. It's like connected to your Fitbit.
Yeah, but this is where technology has made things kind of not a wow factor anymore. But if I were to do that today, it wouldn't be as a wow factor, because people can actually tape something and then everybody's seeing it on their phones in an instantaneous situation. So that became obsolete. But I was doing that from around 2000, beginning of 2000, all the way to probably 2006. And it just, I didn't have to market. People just knew me for doing that. And every bride, it didn't become fun anymore when brides were asking for it and they wanted it and they were willing to pay for it, but it put pressure on me, because what if it didn't happen? Like something technical, I would be probably in trouble. So I made it where I priced my packages to a point where it did cover it, cover my time and efforts on that, but without putting myself in a situation where it was an obligation. And those were the crazy times, but I wouldn't do that now. It's just too stressful. And
but you're right. Back in 2000, like you said, you're working with DV tape, so you're capturing it real time. You can't just, it's like the file's ready. It's like you have to, let it play.
No, it's not like you stick the card in and you can transfer it straight to the hard drive. I literally had to get one of those gigantic decks, and it allowed me to scan through the footage, and I'd be one hand pushing play and downloading it to the hard drive. It's just like you had to know what you wanted at that moment as you're scanning through the tapes, but it always ended up really well. And that's in business. You gotta do something that's out of the box. I say my competitors back then were pretty intimidated of that, because they were like, who in the heck is this? Who in the heck is doing this? And that's probably what my downfall was. I didn't know how to say no, and I pretty much took everybody as far as wedding video, and just overextended myself. I think there was highest point was I was doing over 120 weddings a year. And
easy.
That's not fun at some point in time.
And they're doing like 15 a year. Is like,
that was like, and it was like 90% Filipino weddings, and those weddings are hard.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I knew this was crazy. The Marriott Hotel in Norfolk.
Yep.
They have different levels. I had a wedding in every level. I was shooting the wedding on the third middle floor and the bottom floor, and they were all booked by me. I just had separate crews in each of those floors. That's how bad it was that I couldn't say no to my clients. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Funny. It's like a movie or Three's Company episode. Where's Dave? Oh, he
Yeah.
just went to the kitchen for a second and he went down. You're like filming.
Yeah, yeah. But again, that's when I was like 27 years old. I'm like 50 now. I don't. It's physically demanding. I can't do that. So, like I said, now I want to. I'm not going to shut down wedding video anymore. It's just more of a side hustle. You know, I'd rather do like maybe 5 quality ones every year, or at most 10. But I want to spawn outside of weddings, because when you do films that are outside of weddings, there's unlimited things you could do that are way more amazing. So, yeah. John, I'm so sorry again. We're we're deviating.
That's why I just made this Facebook post. We talk about the past and so much more. So they'll have to keep playing the video to get to so much more parts.
Yeah.
And etc.
Yeah.
Like one of like
I love hearing your perspective, because I don't even like had a chance to even like hang out with you, but I've seen
there goes
you
my
in,
desk.
I've
My
seen
desk
him in,
going
like,
down.
different weddings. Oh my goodness. It collapsed. Everything collapsed.
No, I push a button and it doesn't stop. I still don't know this desk.
I mean, it's good to hear you out, Dave, because I don't even have like I didn't have the chance to spend time with you, just like Dan and Reggie here. I didn't have the time to talk with them as much either, but I'm proud of the fact that I'm speaking to them now at this present time. And as for you, I've seen you do your work. I've seen you with your bow tie, and you're dressed up, you're holding the camera, you're like everywhere. So at least I get to hear your take now after all that's happened.
And for me, I look back and I started really seriously doing video back when I was 26, 27. And I discovered it when I was 19 years old, but then it became a serious business when I was like 26. So I look back and I'm like, did I make a mistake? Because I dedicated almost all my life doing this. And it's not easy being self-employed or a freelancer. You're going to have those ups and downs and stuff like that. But, you can't look back and regret. You just, I don't know if you guys are spiritual, but, God sets your game plan for what your life's going to be like. And it's a blessing, it's everyone's on their own track. You don't look at what other people are doing and wish you could have done what they did, but you just you go through this life and you find out what you're good at and your gifts, and you run with it, and don't have any regrets. Just strive to be the best at what you can be and help others. And for me, again, going back to my wife, it was a defining moment when she passed away, that gosh, life is short. I want to one day be in that casket, which we all will be, and hopefully good things will be said. Good things that you helped others with your talents and gifts, or you made a difference in this world. Because when I heard everything that Grace did, wonderful. She inspires me to do that too. So you guys are all talented at what you do. You guys have just keep striving, and it's hard to be an artist too. Being a creative, because in our culture, our parents sometimes will say, why didn't you become a nurse or doctor? But that's that's not my calling.
What are you going to do with a degree in cartoons?
But it's until you're making it, maybe they'll be like, I told you you could do it.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true. It's like, if I look back and I don't want to use regret, that's a really big term, but if there's something that I find myself regretting more stuff that I didn't do at a time. Say like, why didn't I just do this? It's like I could have saved myself a lot of trouble, or it really wasn't that bad. So I'm all you're right. Life is short. You just got to go for it.
Go for it and go for what you love to do. You're not going to work a day in your life. What's that terminology, or that
find something you love and never work a day.
And you'll never work a day in your life.
Mhm.
You know, it's true because again, for me, I don't want to be in a nursing home one day, which we're all going to be there one day.
Mhm.
And I don't want to look back and say, gosh, I wish I would have been true to myself. Right.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
and I think that's, you know, as an artist or creative person, that's sometimes, we're not looked down upon, but it's, again, in our culture, it's like, why didn't you become a doctor or a lawyer?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but, you know, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
this is quite the episode. Time right now is 11:20 my time.
Really?
12:20 on the east, 12:20
Gosh.
a.m. on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
Jeez.
Man,
Woo!
man.
We did
Wow.
it, guys. We
Are you
break-
gonna have a hard time streamlining this to a much shorter
Oh
version?
no!
Anybody love watching?
This is just gonna go as is on Facebook
Yeah.
Live as well as on YouTube. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
at least the
yeah.
audio part's taken care of. That was like done in
Yeah.
an hour. So
Sorry.
Yeah. But like I said, I think there needs to be something, some kind of either a documentary or some kind of film just about how life has been in the Hampton Roads area, you know, during the 90s and 80s and the 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, I may not be there, but if you guys want to capture it, I will definitely want
Yeah.
to edit some stuff too.
Yeah.
In on
With
it.
like VHS compact tapes.
Yeah. Or make a campaign where people can upload their stuff to a platform, you know, of, hey, submit your videos back in the day in the 90s living in you know, the Hampton Roads area, and then somehow get all that footage and turn something into it.
Yeah.
You know, something entertaining that reflects on you know, the history of living here as a young you know, you know, I'm not trying to
Interviewing. Oh, he's got. Some,
yeah.
yeah. you can-
Oh yeah. See,
Yeah.
I've got a ton of those.
Mhm.
yeah,
You know, I've got a lot
couple
of
them
those.
right here. I can start.
Yeah.
We can start documenting now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was just going. I had digitized everything from VHS, and I was just going through it now, and
That's time consuming.
it is. But
Yeah.
I've got it all, but they were all in like old formats, so I had
Mhm.
to reconvert them over.
Yeah. That's it's so many formats. I had someone hire me to take those old 8mm films back in the
Mhm.
day, like back in the 60s or 70s.
Mhm.
And I was digitizing it for them. And I think President Nixon was on one of them.
Oh wow!
I was like, oh my God, this is historical.
I know.
You know, but there was a father who gave me a box of these old 8mm films. They were in a big box. And he said, I need you to digitize these as soon as possible. I'll pay you whatever. Paid me a good amount of money. So I digitized them. He says, I need to get these digitized because I need to go play this footage over in the hospital where my ex-wife is on her deathbed.
Oh man.
And she finally gave them to me. She hid them for me, these tapes. And she already released them to me, and I needed to see what's on them. So I finished it. I put them on a couple VHS tapes, ran to the hospital, and there you go. There was a whole family in that room. It was so packed. And there was a VCR ready to be played. And I played it, even though it was like maybe 10 hours of footage. They sat there and cried. They cried because they saw the memories that they forgot about, and they reflected on life, and they saw when they were kids and everything. And it was just like, I saw the power of video from that moment. Like, you know, video is like wine. It gets better as it gets older. And it's the most powerful thing in the world to capture. It's like a time capsule. So that was a defining moment for me. And it was really weird. Like, wow, you know, got this whole family waiting to look at all this stuff, you know, and it kind of bonded the family back together, you know. And of course, I guess the mom passed away, but yeah. You
So
gotta keep those tapes and
which is why
digitize them.
the ideal work of getting this project. You know, getting people. Oh man.
Yeah. But to kind of hone in and what's that story about, you know, how to, you know, maybe you have to go through it.
Probably find some key people to interview, you know, just like talk about their personal stories or their struggles or what their experiences were.
And probably scan through the footage and see what makes it and what doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, you think so?
I
don't know. That could be
Sounds
a
like a
future
thing.
project.
Sounds like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, John, I think we're extending our stay, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we beat the record from last time.
Yeah.
Oh
Sorry,
my
Sharon.
gosh. Okay. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
worth it. I love hanging with you guys. You know, it's been a long time, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what happens when we haven't, talked in a long time or seen each other in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
So
meeting
it's all
for the
these
first time.
3+ hours is worth it.
First time. Yeah. Yeah. I made some friends.
Yes, you did. I'm glad we're part of your dots here. We're connecting the dots, just like you said in your quote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Right
John,
here.
for getting this together.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Definitely.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
cool if we heard from the fifth man. He's over there busy, but next time for sure we'll probably have him. He's a good guy too.
Sure.
Yeah. And John, I wish you more success in your podcasting.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
you
Hey, you
for-
too, man. He's on the Crushed Apple podcast, just so you know.
I'm just dabbling in it. It's not even.
He's part of it. You can hear him in the background every once in a while, but
yeah.
but he talks more in the second episode than he did in the first episode. So.
All right.
You know what? I don't like talking, but I'm getting a little bit more.
Oh, you're
comfortable
getting
with
better
it.
and better. Look at tonight.
You did a good job tonight.
Yeah, you were great.
Right.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So those tuning into the podcast, it is finally over, and the video portion is already wrapped up. We already showed our pictures. Well, with the exception of Dave here. But we're sure to show his flashback pictures at some point.
I promise I'll have something together
Nice.
if we end up talking again.
All right, guys. So you all have a good night, and I'll talk to you again real soon. We'll keep in touch.
Okay.
And good night, everyone, to
All
those
right.
watching.
Good night.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.